Chapter 55:17. Lin Xian turned around. Although he was knocked back, he was not injured. On the other side, the blood-colored figure was shattered. Long Mu's face turned pale, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, he could block it. He could not believe it. His secret divine ability was blocked by the other party? The 9-yang divine body was too terrifying. The 9-yang divine body was powerful, but it was definitely not in the top 10 in the universe. However, it was so terrifying. Could it be that it was no longer a pure 9-yang divine body? His guess was not wrong. The divine body had become even more terrifying than before with the power of the divine fire. Lin Xian's expression was cold. He walked forward again. The long sword in his hand pointed forward, and the entire universe shook with him. He slashed out with his sword. The sword Qi slashed forward and fought with Long Mu again. Long Mu was very terrifying. After all, he was a top dragon race expert. At this moment, he had transformed into a dragon, and all kinds of terrifying auras surged out. His physique was also extremely terrifying. The people in the distance were shocked, and their scalps went numb. If they did not add the extreme weapons, none of them would be a match for Long Mu. But right now, Lin Xianchuan had done it. In fact, he could even injure Long Mu. Suddenly, Lin Xian's eyes burst out with an extremely sharp light. 6 paths of reincarnation. This was a super powerful soul power that attacked the other party's soul, wanting to destroy it. With a boom, Long Mu spat out blood and flew backward. His soul seemed to be about to split open. He roared at the sky, and it was the furious dragon roar. He also launched a terrifying soul attack. He roared crazily, and the sound rushed in all directions. Not good. Use extreme weapons to block it. The surrounding people tried to block it. They were only able to survive because the power of the extreme grade weapon had blocked the sound. Otherwise, under this attack, the souls of many experts would be shattered and turned into ashes. Long Mu waved his hand, took out a dragon-headed walking stick, and attacked. It broke through the void of millions of miles, carrying a biting cold aura, and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian raised his sword to block the attack. The resplendent light illuminated the world. The surrounding people couldn't see it, they could only hear the clanging sound. The more Lin Xian fought, the braver he became. He said, "You're old. Let me show you what true power is." The sword Qi on his body suddenly erupted, as if he had turned into a sword god, and attacked. At the same time, the demonic Qi was vast as the great spear of destruction pierced through heaven and earth. Lin Xian unleashed his full battle prowess, sweeping through all directions. The battle between the two was truly terrifying. One was an expert of the older generation. Long Mu's age was definitely the most terrifying. The other was a rising star, Lin Xian, a top genius of the younger generation. This was a battle between two forces. Who would be stronger in the end? Between heaven and earth, countless large cracks spread, and finally, a figure flew out. It was Dragonwood. The people from the Imperial clan cried out in alarm. Could it be that Long Mu, a top expert of the older generation, was going to be defeated? Would it be the world of young people in the future? No. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court knelt on the ground. They really couldn't imagine it. The strongest expert of their dragon race, Lord Long Mu, was actually defeated. Lin Xian stood above the 9 heavens, holding a sword of great destruction and terrifying sharpness. His expression was cold as he stared below. "You've lost." Countless people were in despair. At this moment, Lin Xian was really too strong. In the ruins below, Long Mu also kept vomiting blood. His figure was shattered, and there were wounds on his body from the sword and the great destruction spear. She couldn't believe that she had actually lost. Could the other party already defeat her? He didn't use the power of an extreme Dao weapon. "I don't believe it. Lin Wudi, I want you to die." He suddenly took out the 10,000 dragons diagram and struck out with a shocking attack. 10,000 dragons roared, piercing through the sky. The power of extreme Tao charged towards Lin Xian. Not good, Morong Qingcheng shouted angrily. The pupils of the other imperial clan members also constricted. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. More than 10 storage rings flew out and shattered in the air. These were the gifts that the Fire Qilin race had given him as an apology. It was enough for him to fully awaken the extreme Tao weapon. Allure. With an angry shout, Morong Qingcheng shot out the desolate tower to block the 10,000 dragons diagram. As for Lin Xian, he took out the great dragon sword soul. Terrifying dragon energy surged, and a vast aura filled the world. At this moment, not only the 10,000 dragons dynasty, but the entire burial earth star also felt it. They looked up at the sky. Millions of miles away, there was a gigantic dragon rolling about on a star. Heavens, what was that? Many living beings knelt on the ground. Even the beasts felt their scalps go numb. What was going on? The people from the imperial clan also looked up at the sky, their pupils constricted. The power of the great dragon sword. At this moment, the dragon completely erupted. The dragon roared, and a sword slashed through billions of miles of heaven and earth. No, Long Mu screamed crazily. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to fully awaken the great dragon sword soul. More importantly, there was Morong Qingcheng beside him, blocking his 10,000 dragons diagram. Stop, Lin Wudi, I admit defeat. I will leave with the people of the dragon race. Long Mu roared crazily. However, it was useless. The sword slashed down, covering heaven and earth. The universe shook, the sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. Everyone was forced back. The entire 10,000 dragons dynasty was split apart by the sword. At this moment, many powerhouses of the dragon race were turned into ashes. As for Long Mu, his body and soul were both destroyed by this sword strike. After that sword strike, Lin Xian landed. His expression was incomparably cold. The pupils of the surrounding people from the imperial clan constricted. Long Mu was dead. They couldn't sense his aura anymore. Was his soul destroyed? Heavens! This was an existence that had surpassed the saint realm, an expert second only to a quasi-emperor. Did he actually die? No. The surviving people of the 10,000 dragons dynasty knelt on the ground. They were really in despair. That sword strike just now not only killed Long Mu, but also countless of their experts. The 10,000 dragons dynasty was heavily injured. The remaining people were no match for him at all. The people of the 10,000 dragons dynasty submitted. They said, "We will leave now. Please spare our lives." There was no way to continue fighting. Everyone's souls would be destroyed. If that happened, the 10,000 dragons dynasty would really disappear. They couldn't bear it. Although they submitted now, they could still live. Lin Xian did not bother with these people. Long Mu was dead, and those top-notch experts of the dragon clan were also destroyed by a single sword. The remaining people of the 10,000 dragons dynasty weren't afraid. They were no different from being destroyed. More importantly, he still had something to do next, which was to devour the 10,000 dragons dynasty. Although the 10,000 dragons dynasty was destroyed, they still left behind a lot of power. He wanted to seize this power now, so he didn't care about the remaining ants. Should he let them go? The surrounding Emperor race experts shook their heads and walked forward. Lin Wudi agreed, but they didn't. Let their souls be destroyed. These Emperor race experts were filled with killing intent. Not good. The expressions of the people of the 10,000 dragons dynasty changed drastically. They hurriedly recalled the 10,000 dragons diagram to defend. At the same time, they looked at Lin Wudi. "Lin Wudi, you said that you would let us leave if we lost." Lin Xian didn't answer. Instead, he suddenly attacked. Chapter 55:18. Lin Xian made a move, but it wasn't towards the remaining ants. Instead, it was towards the 10,000 dragon court. He directly charged into the 10,000 dragon court. He took out the heaven-swallowing jar, and an endless whirlpool started to devour the Dragon Vein Palace and the herb garden. Everyone was dumbfounded by this scene. Very quickly, the Emperor race people reacted. Damn it, go and snatch the resources. They now understood that the remaining people were nothing to be afraid of. There was no difference between being dead and being alive. However, the remaining resources of the 10,000 dragon court were shocking treasures. This was the territory of the Emperor race, and now that they had occupied it, they had to dig 3 feet into the ground and take away all the treasures. Ching Chung. Lin Xian waved his hand and told Ching Chung to come over. The 2 extreme weapons opened up a path and swept through everything. They quickly occupied the resources below. The remaining people of the 10,000 dragon court were in despair. These were the treasures of their emperor race, and now they were going to be taken away by these people? Go. A middle-aged man in the lead gritted his teeth and roared. They brought the 10,000 dragon court and soared into the sky, turning into a dragon shadow and charging into the clouds. At this moment, they tore open the universe and left Burial Earthstar. Countless sects and families looked up at the sky. What happened? Why do I feel like the 10,000 dragon court's aura has disappeared? Has the 10,000 dragon court left Burial Emperor Star? Heavens, a great emperor race has been forced out. Has the battle reached such a terrifying stage? Countless people were shocked. At the same time, Lin Xian sent out a signal. He ordered the people of the Divine Union to head towards the 10,000 dragon court. The Gu family, Qilin race, Kunpeng race, Phoenix race, these great emperor races and sects all sent out signals. They asked their own people to come and help. In an instant, countless people headed towards the 10,000 dragon court. As for the 10,000 dragon dynasty, they were nervous too. The people of the great emperor families were going crazy because Lin Xian wanted half of the resources. Damn it, Lin Wuti, don't be too arrogant. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Whoever wasn't convinced, come and die. He waved his sword energy and sliced the ground into 2. Those who crossed the line would die. Then Lin Xian took out the Great Destruction Spear and pierced it into the ground. The boundless black whirlpool and demonic energy covered half of the 10,000 dragon court. The other emperor race clenched their teeth. Damn it, this Lin Wuti was too arrogant. They were prepared to attack together. However, they didn't have much strength left and were waiting for their families to send them reinforcements. Soon, those people from the family came, bringing with them great power and formations. Great, let's do it. The Qilin child gritted his teeth. However, the old Qilin personally descended and held him down. Don't be rude to Lin Gongzi. What? The Qilin child was stunned. Grand Elder, what did you say? You actually addressed him as young master? Damn it, have you gone senile? However, the Supreme Elder humphed coldly. Your Highness, we respectfully conferred you the title of Your Highness, but the situation now is different from before. We have decided not to become enemies with Lin Gongzi. The moment these words were said, the surrounding people went crazy. They really didn't expect the Qilin race to lower their heads to Lin Xian. The old Qilin even personally went over to greet Lin Xian. He said that he definitely wouldn't attack. Lin Xian nodded. Countless people were stunned. The Gu family people were dumbfounded. Damn it, how could this be? The Qilin race was too cowardly. The Qilin child roared crazily. No, why? He was really crazy. However, as the Supreme Elder, the old Qilin had a very important position in the family. This time, it was obviously not his decision alone. It was the decision of many elders. Damn it, what exactly happened? He had to go back and find out. The people from the Purple Mansion didn't come because they were too injured. The other families and sects were all confused. Only those who had seen Lin Wuti knew how terrifying he was. The current Lin Wuti really couldn't be offended. The people from the Divine Union also came. Yen Ryu, the Crimson Dragon by Susu, Hong Yi, and the others came and met up with Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his hand and said, "Half of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty is ours. Let's move quickly." "No way." By Susu's eyes widened. Half of the great emperor race was theirs. This harvest was too great. The Crimson Dragon went crazy. "Ha ha! This is great. The dragon race definitely has endless secret treasures. Let's find them quickly." Even Morong Qingqing sucked in a deep breath. This was indeed a shocking amount of wealth. More importantly, the other great emperor races didn't dare to move. They would go and snatch the rest. The old Qilin said. Although half of the great emperor race was gone, there was still half left. Therefore, they had to act quickly. The other large clans also made their moves. The Gu family people were unhappy and wanted to attack Lin Xian. In the end, they were suppressed by 3 extreme weapons. The Gu family people were injured, and they tore open the void to escape. Previously, Lin Xian still had a chance when he was alone. Now that Morong Qingqing and Yen Ryu were here, the other party was going to attack with 3 extreme weapons. They couldn't fight back even if they joined forces, so they could only give up. In the end, the remaining great emperor races snatched the other half of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Then the entire Burial Earth Star went crazy. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was actually destroyed. Heavens! This was the first time a great emperor race was destroyed. Yes, for tens of thousands of years, the great emperor races had been high and mighty. No one could destroy them. But now, Lin Wuti had taken the lead to suppress a great emperor race. This was really crazy. More importantly, these people had snatched the entire great emperor race. At this moment, the spirit veins and dragon veins of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had all been taken away. By Susu and the others had asked if they could develop the Divine Union on the basis of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Lin Xian thought about it, and then shook his head. He decided not to. The place occupied by the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was definitely a place with good feng shui. However, he didn't dare to. After all, this was the place where the Dragon Emperor had lived, and he had a huge grudge with the Dragon Emperor. He didn't know what would happen if he stayed here for a long time. He might as well take the spirit veins away. As for the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, he would just turn it into a pile of ruins. Lin Xian didn't need to do anything next. He only needed the people of the Divine Union to do it. He believed that no one would dare to go against him now. However, Lin Xian didn't relax. Although he had defeated the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty this time, there was still an even bigger enemy. That was the Permitha behind the Purple Mansion. According to the Great Emperor, the Permitha was very powerful. Back when the Heavenly Court was destroyed, several generations of the Great Emperor's descendants hadn't been able to gain the upper hand. One could imagine how terrifying the Permitha was. Lin Xian didn't know the exact situation now, but he could imagine that there were definitely unparalleled powerhouses inside. Now, he urgently needed to become a quasi-emperor as soon as possible. After becoming a quasi-emperor, he wouldn't be afraid even if he met a few quasi-emperors. Chapter 55:19. Lin Xian entered the bottom of the 10,000 Dragon Court and began to cultivate in the endless dragon veins. This was the long suggestion to let Lin Xian wait patiently. Wait for it to come. Who is coming? Lin Xian asked. I have a premonition, but I'm not sure. I'll tell you when he comes. After he comes, the time to become an emperor will come. At that time, the entire world will produce endless strange phenomena. You'll understand soon enough. There will even be many experts appearing, so you have to be careful and prepare early. It seemed that there was going to be an incredible moment. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Was it the time to become an emperor? He clenched his fists. In the past, a great emperor could become an emperor every 10,000 years, but no great emperor had appeared in the past tens of thousands of years. Some people said that the changes in the world made it impossible to produce a great emperor, and this saying was more and more accepted by people. Therefore, many people were in despair. Even someone as strong as Xia Zhiyo didn't seem to have become a great emperor. But now, DeLong said that the time to become an emperor was coming. If it was true, this would be an exciting moment. Lin Xian didn't just want to compete with young geniuses, the Double Crown King and the Triple Crown King. He might even be able to contend against ancient existences like Xia Zhiyo. Therefore, he couldn't relax at all. In the next period of time, the people of Burial Earth could also feel that the atmosphere was unusual. They began to discuss great emperors. They discussed who could become a great emperor in this era. One figure after another appeared in their mouths. For example, Lin Wudi of the younger generation. Then he would really be able to sweep through the 8 desolations, and no one would be able to match him. Originally, there were people like the Triple Crown King and Yao Guang who could compete with him. But now, it seemed that they were all inferior. There were also people who said that they couldn't just look at the younger generation. The older generation also had hope. Some top experts didn't appear, but it didn't mean that they didn't exist. Yes, although Long Mu was dead, 2 quasi-emperors appeared last time. Chaos Quasi-Emperor was also very likely. The other quasi-emperor was the same. There must be other quasi-emperors. In order to become a martial emperor, one had to become a quasi-emperor first. After that, it would be a battle between quasi-emperors. The others could only look up to him. When the Qilin son returned, he was so angry that he went crazy. He quarreled with those elders. However, those elders didn't seem to think highly of him because Lin Wudi had a very high chance of winning. Damn it, the Qilin child gritted his teeth. Was he being underestimated? But there was nothing he could do, especially when he learned about the true strength of the Triple Crown champion. He became terrified. If Lin Xian could insta-kill Yao Guang, then wouldn't he be able to insta-kill him as well? Thinking of this, his back broke out in cold sweat. Could it be that he had just walked around the gates of hell? Damn it, I want to become a Triple Crown champion too. The Qilin child gritted his teeth. At the same time, the members of the Yi family were also extremely excited. That was because they sensed that the inheritance left behind by the Celestial Emperor was moving. In other words, Leaf Dowdenier was coming out. I wonder what level Wudao has reached. They were looking forward to it. Previously, Leaf Dowdenier hadn't participated in the Dragonization Station, nor had he gone to the Dragon Phoenix tomb. Instead, he'd entered the test left behind by the Celestial Emperor. The Yi family had produced a great emperor, and a Celestial Emperor at that. He was a terrifying existence even among great emperors. Therefore, the descendants of the Yi family could all pass the test. However, it was extremely dangerous with only a slim chance of survival. Leaf Dowdenier had entered without hesitation. Now that he'd returned, his strength should have undergone an earth-shattering transformation. They waited patiently. 5 days later, the testing door finally opened slowly. A figure walked out. It was Dowdenier, cried the Yi family patriarch. The other venerated elders and powerhouses also gathered. Their eyes widened as they looked forward. Dowdenier had come out alive. That was great. A huge rock had been lifted from their hearts. How was it, Dowdenier? The patriarch and the venerated elders all rushed forward, excited and nervous. Leaf Dowdenier didn't release any powerful aura, which puzzled them. A smile appeared on Leaf Dowdenier's face as he said, "Elders, please feel it." He stomped his foot, and the phantom of an immortal king appeared around him, roaring at the sky. In that moment, all of the elders present were sent flying backward. Their blood boiled and their eyes widened. This was the power of a triple-crown king. Did you really succeed, Doudenier? That's great. A triple-crown king. I can sense that your bloodline has evolved. It's even stronger than before. The Yi family cheered. They saw hope. Leif Doudenier had finally become a triple-crown king. In the future, he'd be able to compete with a great emperor. What happened during this time? Leif Doudenier. Elders, please tell me about it. A group of people walked toward the palace. The Yi family was very happy, and news of Leif Doudenier's appearance spread in all directions. The Yi family didn't try to hide it. After all, Leif Doudenier was destined to sweep through the universe. Leif Doudenier had become a triple-crown king. Heavens, another triple-crown king had appeared. It was incredible. Countless cries of surprise rang out. He was someone who could compete with Lin Xian. Some of the great emperor clans were incredibly envious. Kunpingzi, Qilinzi, and the others were so envious that their eyes turned red. The phoenixes were also incredibly nervous. If Leif Doudenier had come out of seclusion, then what about their princess, Fengjiu? They were also waiting patiently. But on this day, something happened. The patriarch of the phoenixes let out a frenzied roar, shattering the 9 heavens. What happened? The phoenixes were going crazy. The elder phoenix rushed over, and the others were just as shocked. They were extremely puzzled. The patriarch was holding Fengjiu's soul jade pendant, but cracks had appeared on it. No, this was impossible. The phoenixes shook their heads frantically. Was Fengjiu in danger? Did she fail the test? Let's go to the testing grounds. They all headed toward the testing grounds. The testing grounds were hazy, and they couldn't get there. All they could do was scream, "Your Highness, are you all right? Your Highness Fengjiu." One cry of surprise after another rang out. At that moment, the testing grounds opened, and a feather flew out. It was Fengjiu's feather. The patriarch caught it instantly. What happened? An illusory face appeared from the feather, followed by a weak voice. From now on, leave it to Qingcheng. Tell him to protect the phoenixes. As soon as the voice fell, the soul jade pendant in the patriarch's hand cracked. At the same time, a rain of blood fell from the 9 heavens. No, the phoenixes went crazy, and they all fell to their knees. At the same time, the entire buried earth was shocked. They looked up at the sky. Chapter 55:20. The people of the Gu family frowned. It seemed like another powerful elite had fallen. The people of the Kunpeng race side. Was the Phoenix race going to be defeated? On the other side, the people of the Yi family also sensed it. Yi Wudao and the others looked into the distance. I've heard that the princess of the Phoenix clan is the same as you. She has already entered the ancient testing ground. Could it be that she didn't make it out? Yi Wudao's eyes flickered. He said that the ancient testing ground was filled with death. Even he almost didn't make it out. Perhaps Fengjiu would never make it out. There was a hint of pity in his voice. After all, they were all people who had entered a desperate situation for power. However, he had succeeded while the other party had failed. At this moment, all the families and sects on Burial Earthstar were paying attention to the Phoenix race. In the end, the news spread from the Phoenix race. Princess Fengjiu had failed the ancient testing ground. Another elite had fallen. Countless people exclaimed. First, the Dragon Prince had been killed. Now, Fengjiu had failed the test and fallen. It seemed like even the princes and princesses weren't safe in this era of great battles. Everyone could feel the pressure, especially the group of experts who stood at the very top. They were under a lot of pressure because the battle between the great emperors had to be fought over countless bones and seas of blood. Who would be the stepping stone? Who would be able to laugh at the world? They didn't know. The people of the Divine Union naturally received the news. Morong Chingcheng's expression changed. She said, "I have to go back." She found Lin Xian and explained the situation. Lin Xian took a deep breath. "I'll go back with you." The two of them soared into the sky and headed towards the Phoenix race. At the moment, the Phoenix race was covered in blood, and everyone was in despair. On this day, two figures arrived in the sky. They looked up indifferently. When they saw that it was Morong Qingcheng, their bodies shook slightly. Princess Qingcheng had also returned. Although Morong Qingcheng wasn't a princess, she was a seven-colored phoenix. Her previous status was extraordinary, second only to the princess. Therefore, they were very excited when Morong Qingcheng returned. More importantly, Feng Jiu's feather said that she wanted to hand everything over to Morong Qingcheng. "I'm back." Morong Qingcheng's face was also pale. She wondered if Feng Nine really hadn't come out. The old phoenix personally came and brought him to the testing ground. Up ahead, the patriarch had also arrived, as well as some grand elders and core elders. They gathered together. The clan leader sighed. "Feng Jiu wouldn't come out. This is what he gave you." He took out a feather. Morong Qingcheng's hand trembled. She could sense that this was Phoenix Nine's feather. After she took it, a voice came from inside. "In the future, the Phoenix race will be handed over to Qingcheng." Hearing this voice, Morong Qingcheng started to cry as well. She and Feng Nine often sparred before, so it could be said that they had a good relationship. He just didn't expect that the other party would actually reach this step. She clenched her fists. He took a deep breath and looked around. The eyes of the surrounding elders were also red. Their eyes were filled with despair. Morong Qingcheng said, "I'm very sad about what happened to Feng Nine, but there's nothing we can do. This is her choice. Let's respect it. As for Feng Ix's request, don't worry. As long as I, Morong Qingcheng, am around, the phoenixes will always exist." This was a kind of promise. This made many phoenixes heave a sigh of relief. They felt despair when the crown princess died. However, Morong Qingcheng was also incomparably terrifying. She was already a double crown champion, and her future achievements were also unparalleled. Even if she couldn't become a great emperor, she would probably be able to stand at the peak of the universe. Bless the phoenixes. At this moment, Lin Xian also walked out. He said, "Qingcheng's matter is my matter. With me around, the phoenixes will be fine. In the future, when I reach the peak, the phoenixes will enjoy endless glory." As soon as those words came out, everyone's hearts trembled, because the young man who spoke was a top-notch genius. He was the first in the dragon transformation stage, the young Triple Crown champion. He was the existence who severely injured the Purple Mansion realm, defeated the 10,000 Dragons Court, and even killed the Triple Crown champion. He was now a popular candidate to become a great emperor. If what he said was true, then the phoenixes would really have nothing to worry about. Many thanks to Lin Gongzi. The elders of the phoenixes took the lead and bowed respectfully to Lin Xian. Then, these people started to discuss. The phoenixes could be considered to have completely joined the divine union. This was very important. In the past, the divine union only had the remote antiquity families. Although they had a good relationship with the Yi family hadn't joined the divine union. Now, all the hopes of the phoenixes were placed on Morong Qingcheng. Given the relationship between Qingcheng and Lin Xian, they were bound to join the divine union. The news spread out in an instant, and the world was in an uproar. The divine union was already incomparably terrifying. Now that the great emperor families had joined, it would probably reach a whole new level. It might even surpass the great emperor. Some families that had a grudge against Lin Xian, such as the Purple Mansion realm, were even more desperate when they heard this news. Why did it feel like Lin Wuti was unbeatable? Everything would have to wait until the palace master came out of seclusion. They could only place their hopes on the palace master now. Yi Wudao of the Yi family also came out. He was prepared to exchange pointers with Lin Xian. Furthermore, they hadn't seen each other in a long time. The two old friends wanted to catch up. When Lin Xian returned, he found Yi Wudao waiting for him in the Divine Union. Wudao, you've finally come out. Lin Xian's lips curled up. There was a frightening glint in his eyes as he looked at Yi Wudao. You've also broken through and become a Triple Crown champion. Yi Wudao nodded. It was just luck. I heard that you could have killed a Triple Crown champion long ago. Lin Xian smiled. There were strong and weak Triple Crown champions. Even though Ziming had become a Triple Crown champion long ago, he was still a Triple Crown champion. However, his strength was definitely inferior to Lin Xian's. Yi Wudao asked, "Do you want to exchange pointers?" Lin Xian said, "Sure." Both of them emitted a cold aura. The people from the Divine Union were also surprised. Were they going to make a move? Although it was just an exchange of pointers, it would definitely be earth-shattering. Boom. In the next instant, the two of them attacked. Both of them had extremely strong physiques and cultivated the great emperor's ancient scripture. Their strength was shocking. The surrounding people were all pushed back. They couldn't resist at all. Fortunately, the two of them were just exchanging pointers and restrained their strength. Otherwise, they would have been reduced to ashes. In the end, Yi Wudao was forced back 2 steps. Lin Xian stopped, and the two of them stopped exchanging pointers. Yi Wudao said, "Looks like you're still better." Next, the two of them drank and chatted, each of them sharing their experiences. At the same time, in a desolate mountain range, there was a terrifying aura. The mountain range was too vast and had a desolate aura. Everywhere it passed, no living thing dared to stay. This was the desolate mountain range, the forbidden land of death. At that moment, another person walked out of the desolate mountain range. Chapter 55:21. The person who walked out was called Huang Qing. After he came out, he went to a few great emperor clans. Those from the emperor clans were also on guard. The elders of the emperor clans didn't dare to be negligent. After this matter spread out, the other people were also shocked. The legend of the desolate tomb also appeared in front of everyone. Someone said, "Who is this person? He's so powerful that even the emperor clans have to be careful." That's right. Other than Lin Wudi, I haven't seen the emperor clans be so careful with anyone. An older generation figure spoke because he had walked out of the desolate tomb. What was the desolate tomb? Was it very powerful? The young geniuses didn't understand, so they asked, "How was it compared to the Divine Union?" The older generation powerhouse said that the desolate tomb was probably more mysterious than the Divine Union because it was a forbidden land. When these words came out, everyone was in an uproar. They could understand the words Forbidden Land of Life because Mount Eternal was a forbidden land of life. Mount Eternal had even produced 10 Double Crown winners at once, which shocked countless people and even made them feel despair. Even the great emperor clans couldn't produce 10 Double Crown winners at once. It was already not bad if one appeared. It could be said that the power of the Forbidden Land was very terrifying, even above the Divine Union. No wonder. Now, they also understood why the great emperor clans had to be so careful. It turned out that these people were from the Forbidden Land. At the same time, some powerhouses gasped. First, it was Mount Eternal. Now, it was the desolate tomb. The Forbidden Land had appeared one after another. Was it a sign of something? No one else could enter the Forbidden Land, but there were living beings inside. What kind of secret was hidden inside? Everyone was very curious about this question. However, this time, even some of the older generation figures couldn't answer. However, an expert from the Ground Clan walked out. They said that in the Forbidden Land, there was a mortal supremacy. A mortal supremacy. When these words came out, countless people gasped. Who dared to call themselves a supremacy in this world? However, there was actually a mortal supremacy in the Forbidden Land. What kind of existence was a mortal supremacy? How could it compare to the Great Emperor? They only knew that the Great Emperor stood at the peak of the universe. As for this mortal supremacy, they had never heard of it. It was hard to say. Finally, the people from the Yi family also stood out and spoke. When these words were spoken, everyone was even more shocked. Heavens, could it be that the human supreme beings were even more powerful than great emperors? No way. This was impossible. The elder of the Yi clan said. He wasn't stronger than the great emperor, but he was a strong enemy of the great emperor. I'm sure you've heard of the battle in the darkness. Hearing this, some of the experts from the various clans narrowed their eyes. More than 100,000 years ago, a forbidden land of life appeared and swept through a region. At that time, the entire universe was shrouded in darkness, and no one was a match for it. Everything in the forbidden land of life would be reduced to ashes. However, some human experts appeared out of nowhere. He fought against the supreme existences in the forbidden land of life. That battle was earth-shattering and had spread throughout the entire universe. Countless living beings were destroyed, but in the end, they managed to stop the devouring of the darkness. I remember that the one who fought back then was the great emperor of the Gu clan, the Void Emperor. Someone spoke. That's right, it was the Gu clan's great emperor. The battle back then was simply too terrifying. It was said that even the martial monarchs were injured. Everyone was even more shocked. A mortal supremacy could compete with a great emperor, or even be on par with a great emperor. Even Lin Xian was shocked. He originally thought that a mortal supremacy was only a quasi-emperor level existence. But now, it seemed that it wasn't the case at all. The forbidden land of life was more terrifying than he had imagined. He asked DeLong said, "You can ask your friends. Their ancestors are all great emperors." Lin Xian asked Yi Wudao. Yi Wudao said, "Indeed, the mortal supremacy in the forbidden land of life is very powerful. My Yi clan's celestial emperor, Yi also fought with a mortal supremacy in the forbidden land of life back then. Although he was able to suppress the mortal supremacy in the end, it was said that it was also a difficult battle." Lin Xian was shocked. He asked Yen Ryu. Yen Ryu said, "My ancestor, Emperor Qing, also fought with a mortal supremacy. That battle was earth-shattering, and it seemed to be a draw." Lin Xian was even more shocked. Was a mortal supremacy really so powerful? But that shouldn't be. The extreme Dao weapon from before didn't say that a mortal supremacy was a peak existence in the human world. And great emperors didn't belong to the human world? Lin Xian asked DeLong again. DeLong said, "Mortal supremacy is a taboo existence. Mortal supremacy is just a name, not a division of realms. You might have even heard of a real mortal supremacy." Lin Xian was even more puzzled after hearing that. If he really wanted to improve his strength, he could go to the forbidden land of life to take a look. DeLong said that he might really have a chance to see a mortal supremacy. After he came, those mortal supremacies probably wouldn't be able to sit still. At that time, there would be an even more terrifying battle that would sweep everything away. Lin Xian took a deep breath. It seemed that the road ahead was very dangerous. On the other side, after Huang Qing visited a few great emperor clans, he held a banquet in the name of Huang Ling. He invited the top clans and powerhouses. Lin Xian was also on the invitation list. For a moment, the world was in an uproar. No one knew what Huang Ling wanted to do. The people from the Divine Union also frowned. Bai Susu said, "Don't tell me they want to catch us all in one fell swoop." Lin Xian snorted coldly. Would he dare? No matter how strong his forbidden land of life was, the other great emperor clans were not to be trifled with. This time, we all brought great emperor weapons. I don't think he has the ability to do that. Yen Ryu said, That's true. However, there's a precondition that the mortal supremacy doesn't take action. If the mortal supremacy of Huang Ling takes action personally, we probably won't be able to stop him even if we bring great emperor weapons. After all, we aren't great emperors, not even boundary emperors. Although that was the case, Lin Xian and the others still decided to go and investigate. Not only that, but the other great emperor clans and remote antiquity clans were also prepared to go. After all, no one dared to offend a forbidden land of life. Was there really a mortal supremacy in the forbidden land of life? They didn't know. If there really was one, he would be able to sweep the world. They had to give the other party face. This time, the banquet was held above the demon sea. The Black Sea carried a monstrous demonic chi. It made everyone's hair stand on end. Fortunately, the people who came this time were all powerhouses, so they were able to withstand it. There was an island above the demon sea. It was formed completely by white bones. It was said that this white bone had an extraordinary origin. It was formed by the white bones of a very famous immemorial era powerhouse after his death. After millions of years, it hadn't been destroyed. Now, it was one of the few places in the Demon Sea where one could stop and rest. This time, Huang Ling was holding the banquet on this white bone island. Chapter 55:22. Above the Demon Sea, terrifying powerhouses appeared one after another. There were also terrifying demonic beasts that swept across the land. These were people from the remote antiquity families, the emperor families, and the top sections. From above, powerful figures walked out one after another. They descended from the sky. They descended towards the Demon Sea. The Demon Sea was huge and boundless. Even the island was extremely vast. One could imagine how terrifying the powerhouse who had died back then was. Some people even guessed that it was formed by the corpse of a quasi-emperor after his death. The Gu family, the Qilan tribe, and the Kuanpeng tribe had all come. After they arrived, they discussed in low voices. They did not know why Huang Ling had gathered them. After all, when the other party had gone to their family, he had not mentioned anything specific. Although they could not guess, they were not afraid. After all, these emperor families had brought their emperor weapons this time. At the same time, a huge sword flew over from the sky. There were many people standing on it. It was Lin Xian and the others. The people from the Divine Union had also arrived and landed on the Bone Island. Bai Susu and the others were amazed. What a mysterious island. Lin Xian said that they were free to go and take a look. They could gather at the banquet. These people went to other parts of the island to have fun. Lin Xian also brought Murong Qingcheng and Yan Ryu to have fun on the Bone Island. Lin Xian even went to the Demon Sea. The origin of the Demon Sea was extraordinary. It was said that it was related to the Demon Emperor. Back then, the Demon Emperor had fought with someone and blood had dyed the sea, forming the Demon Sea. However, in the end, the Demon Emperor had killed the strong enemy and stood at the peak of the universe. As for who the enemy was back then, no one knew now. However, the Demon Sea remained, emitting a monstrous demonic aura. There were countless living beings in the Demon Sea. It could be said that it was like the demon realm. Lin Xian went to the Demon Sea and quickly activated the illusion demon scripture. It indeed had the aura of the Demon Emperor. Back then, the Demon Emperor had bathed the sea in blood. No one knew who had done it. At the same time, there was a terrifying light dancing above the Demon Sea. It was a demon ship. There were many figures standing on it, all of them wearing black battle armor. The leader was a man with horns on his head and an extraordinary aura. They were from the Sea Demon clan. The man at the front was His Highness the Sea Demon. At this moment, they had also come to participate in the banquet. Someone at the side said, "This time, quite a number of experts had gathered. I heard that the families of those great emperors will be there. So what? Our Highness isn't any weaker than the geniuses of the great emperor clans. That's for sure. I've already become a crown king. Furthermore, in this Devil's Sea, I've even found some fragments left behind by the Devil Emperor. If I can fully comprehend it, my strength can still increase. His Highness Sea Demon clenched his fists. Apart from a handful of people, we can't afford to offend them. We don't care about the others. Yes, an old man at the side said. There were a few youngsters that they definitely couldn't provoke. For example, Lin Wudi, Yao Guang, and those from the Light Clan. These were all extremely terrifying existences. They should also be participating. Don't worry, those people will definitely be with the Emperor Clan's clan leader. We won't have much chance of meeting them. Just as they were talking, someone suddenly exclaimed, "Look, we're almost at the Island of Bones." There were actually people beside them. They should be young juniors from some remote antiquity family or sect that had come to follow them. One of them was actually so beautiful. On this spaceship, many people exclaimed. The eyes of the leader, His Highness Sea Demon, also lit up. This was because he had discovered two peerless beauties. These two peerless fairies were rarely seen in their lives. After he saw them, his eyes immediately turned red. In the next moment, he actually soared into the air and flew forward. His Highness, an old man exclaimed. A middle-aged man at the side said, "Don't worry." They appeared in such a remote sea area and didn't have any experts following them. They should only be ordinary remote antiquity families. Our Sea Demon clan doesn't take such people seriously. Are the two fairies lost? His Highness Sea Demon came to the surface of the sea in front of them and asked with a smile. A handsome smile appeared on his face. Morong Ching-chung and Yen Ryu glanced at each other, then retracted their gazes and ignored him. They didn't know each other. Moreover, the other party's aura was only that of a crown king. In their opinion, he was too weak. His Highness Sea Demon asked a few more questions, trying to get closer to the two. However, the two of them ignored him. Yen Ryu said, "Let's go back." They all came to Lin Xian's side, which made His Highness Sea Demon's face immediately sink. "Damn it," he snorted coldly, and with a flash of his body, he stopped these people. At the same time, many experts of the Sea Demon clan followed over. They completely blocked Lin Xian and the others. Lin Xian frowned. He said coldly, "Get lost." Ha 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 ha. The geniuses of the Sea Demon clan immediately laughed after hearing that. Did you hear that? This kid actually told us to get lost? Who does he think he is? Kid, I've taken a liking to these two fairies. I want them to chat with me. If you get out of my sight immediately, I can spare your life. His Highness Sea Demon waved his hand and said coldly. He was courting death. Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. His Highness Sea Demon was also angry. Attack, cripple this kid. Don't hurt the two fairies. As soon as her voice fell, two burly men walked out from behind her. The sea demon water under their feet turned into a monstrous light and slashed towards Lin Xian. In an instant, Lin Xian was enveloped. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. His Highness Sea Demon snorted coldly, "You can't even withstand a single blow. How dare you compete with my Sea Demon clan?" However, his smile soon disappeared, and even a hint of fear appeared, because he found that under the sea, Lin Xian was intact. This made him frown. He was actually an expert. Lin Xian was also angry. With a wave of his hand, the two sea demon powerhouses in front of him instantly turned into ashes. Not only that, the four people behind him also turned into a bloody mist. There was a rain of blood between heaven and earth, making the surrounding people feel as if they were facing a great enemy. Protect His Highness. With an angry roar, they all took action. The young man in front of them was actually an expert. His Highness Sea Demon roared angrily and killed this kid. Suppress the other two fairies for me. I'm going to take them to the spaceship. With an angry roar, the surrounding dozens of experts took action. In their opinion, the other party only had 3 people. No matter how powerful they were, it didn't matter. Go to hell. The monstrous seawater with demonic chi enveloped Lin Xian and the other 2. Lin Xian received more power. However, these forces were unable to withstand a single blow in front of him. With a wave of his hand, he directly tore open a crack in the void. All these forces were swallowed up. In the next moment, a demonic seal appeared in his hand, and he slapped it out. More than a dozen powerhouses were turned into ashes. Even His Highness Sea Demon vomited blood and flew backward. Chapter 55:23. Oh no, His Highness is in danger. The expressions of the experts behind them changed. They immediately flew over. They thought that they were just 3 ordinary people, so they didn't care. But now, it seemed that they were too careless. Countless elders came to the vicinity. Your Highness, are you all right? Some elders took out elixirs and swallowed them. Some of them stared at Lin Xian with murderous intent. Kneel down and accept your death. His Highness High Mo roared crazily. Kill him. I must kill him. Let him suffer a fate worse than death. Lin Xian's face darkened. He stared at High Mo and said, I wanted to spare your life, but you dared to provoke me. No one in the world can save you now. The surrounding elders sneered. What a joke. Who do you think you are? How dare you boast like that? Don't you know that we're from the Sea Demon clan? We're the kings of the demonic ocean. Oh, is that so? You're the kings, but the great Emperor clan doesn't dare to be arrogant in front of me. So, what if you're a mere king? Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. His eyes were cold as if he was a god looking down on the world. At this moment, the surrounding experts' souls were shaken. But soon, someone sneered. The great Emperor clan bowed down in front of you? Kid, who are you? Do you think you're Lin Wudi? Lin Wudi is a supreme expert who is respected by countless people on Whitebone Island. He's standing with the great Emperor clan's patriarch. What about you? You don't even have an expert protecting you. Maybe you're a genius from some clan, but you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Kid, I'll let you know how powerful the Demonic Ocean clan is. The experts walked over with murderous intent. Murong Qing Cheng and the others frowned. They wanted to attack too. But at this moment, a stream of light flew over from afar. There were endless flames on it, and it turned into a figure. It was an elder with Qilin scales on his body. Terrifying flames were burning on his body. The entire demonic ocean was suppressed. The demonic ocean clan's pupils shrank when they saw this. This aura, could it be the legendary Qilin clan? Heavens! This is the clan of an immortal emperor. Why is he here? Could it be that the battle earlier had alarmed the other party? Thinking of this, the demonic sea beasts hurriedly withdrew their laws. His Highness Sea Devil took a deep breath, turned around, and bowed respectfully. May I ask if you're a senior of the Qilin clan? I am His Highness of the Sea Demon clan. Greetings to Senior Qilin. The other Sea Demon clan elders also saluted one after another, greeting Lord Qilin. They did not dare to be arrogant in front of a great emperor clan. The old Qilin in the sky descended from the sky. He was expressionless and ignored these people. The Sea Demon clan didn't have the qualifications to enter his eyes. As he walked past these people, His Highness the Sea Demon's face stiffened. The others also frowned. How arrogant! They were the kings of this sea. Who dared to be rude to them? However, the other party dared to do so. They didn't even dare to say anything. At the same time, they were shocked. What did the Qilin race's expert come here for? Looking for something? They all turned their heads to look. The old Qilin walked past their heads and descended in front of them. In the next moment, a smile appeared on the other party's face. It was so brilliant that the other party actually cupped his fists and bowed slightly. "Ha ha, Lin Gongzi, you're actually here? I've really been looking for you for a long time. Lin Gongzi is waiting for you. Please follow me." Seeing this scene, the brains of the surrounding people were about to split open. What? This was impossible. His Highness the Sea Demon's pupils shrank. He jumped up directly. The Qilin clan, in their eyes, was actually fawning over a young man at this moment. And this young man, they didn't put him in their eyes before. Heavens, Earth, what's going on? What kind of identity does this young man in front of me have? Isn't he just an ant? Why does he have to be so respectful? Finally, His Highness the Sea Demon couldn't help but exclaim. Hearing this, the old Qilin turned his head and snorted coldly. The bodies of the surrounding people instantly split open as they spat out blood and flew backward. His Highness the Sea Demon flew backward with a pale face. The old Qilin snorted coldly. "How dare you be rude to Lin Gongzi? Do you want to die?" These people gasped. Could it be that this guy was the Qilin son of the Qilin clan? If that was the case, they would have kicked an iron plate. But that shouldn't be the case. The Qilin son, the Emperor's son, had a supreme bloodline. They could feel it. But why didn't they feel it now? "Lord Qilin, who is this young master?" The great elder of the Sea Demon clan cupped his fists and asked. The Qilin snorted coldly. "You don't have the right to know." After saying that, he looked forward again. "Lin Gongzi, did they offend you?" Yen Ryu frowned. Not only did they offend him, but they also wanted to suppress and kill us. As soon as these words came out, the old Qilin was instantly enraged. He waved his hand, and Qilin fire flew out. Hundreds of Sea Demon clan powerhouses were turned into ashes. "Don't you want to live anymore? How dare you attack Lin Gongzi?" Seeing this scene, the surrounding Sea Demon clan members all knelt on the ground. Too strong. They were the kings of this sea, but in front of the Emperor clan, they were ants. The other party could destroy them with a raise of his hand. Thinking of this, these people all knelt on the ground, begging Lord Qilin to spare their lives. The old Qilin snorted coldly. His body carried a monstrous pressure. "Lin Gongzi, I'll help you destroy them." After saying that, he stomped his foot, and the Qilin step appeared. The entire demon sea was set off waves. Countless Sea Demon clan members' bodies split open, turning into a bloody mist. "Run!" the great elder shouted angrily, and the others fled in all directions. The Qilin roared angrily and used his peerless divine ability. How could these people escape? Their bodies shattered one by one. The great elder didn't even have time to scream before he died. "Damn it, I'm not willing." The Sea Demon Royal Highness roared towards the sky. He launched his final attack. A fragment appeared in his hand. It was black and dark red. Obviously, there was blood on it, and it had long dried up. He burned his life force and struck out with all his strength to resist this fragment. However, it was useless. Under the Qilin's roar, its body and soul were destroyed. However, this fragment didn't shatter. It seemed to cut through the void and slashed forward. The old Qilin snorted coldly. With a wave of his sleeve, monstrous laws danced. But in the next moment, with a bang, his sleeve was torn apart. This made the old Qilin's pupils shrink. What was this? He reached out to grab it, but the fragment actually cut open his palm. The old Qilin was too shocked. "Treasure!" His eyes erupted with a cold light, and he was about to attack. At this moment, someone was faster than him. Lin Xian struck out a Taiji diagram and enveloped the front, directly enveloping the fragment. Chapter 55-24. The Taiji diagram shone brightly, enveloping the sharp lightning bolt. However, Lin Xian furrowed his brows, because he felt that the lightning bolt was too powerful, as if it was going to tear his Taiji diagram apart. What was that? Lin Xian was surprised. No wonder it could make the old Qilin fail. He snorted coldly. The demonic qi on his body was incomparably terrifying, forming a demonic cage. Suppress. A powerful force suppressed it. Only then did he suppress the other party. Then he waved his sleeve and put it away. In the next moment, the old Qilin arrived nearby. He said in surprise, "Young master, what is that?" Obviously, he wanted to see it. Lin Xian smiled mysteriously. "It's nothing. It's just a small thing." "Why? Do you want it?" A trace of shocking light appeared in his eyes. Morong Qingcheng and Yen Ryu also took a step forward, forming a cage. As long as Lin Xian gave the order, the two of them would attack. Seeing this aura, the old Qilin was shocked. She quickly shook her head. "I'm not interested. The banquet is waiting for you. Let's go." After saying that, the old Qilin led the way. Although there was a smile on his face, his heart was ferocious. Damn it, that thing is obviously a treasure. However, he had no choice. He didn't have the confidence to defeat Lin Xian alone. Moreover, there were two double champions beside him. Both of them might have extreme weapons on them, so he didn't dare to ask any more questions. Lin Xian and the other two flew towards the Island of Bones. Along the way, Lin Xian investigated and finally saw the thing he obtained. It was a fragment, like a weapon fragment. It was very sharp, and he didn't know what kind of metal it was made of. The blood on it actually contained the power of the demonic path. This surprised Lin Xian. He felt that it was very similar to his illusory demon scripture. Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat. Could it be that this thing was related to the Demon Emperor? It was really surprising. From the looks of it, His Highness Sea Demon must have obtained it from the Demon Sea. However, the other party had already fallen. If he wanted to ask, it seemed that he could only wait until the matter here was over, and then go to the Sea Demon clan to ask. Let's see if there are any other weapon fragments. Perhaps he could find something related to the Demon Emperor. Thinking of this, Lin Xian took a deep breath and put this matter aside for the time being, because they had already arrived at Whitebone Island. When they landed on the island, there were many people on it. When they saw Lin Xian, they were incomparably surprised. As expected, the other party had also come. Greetings to Lin Gongzi. Along the way, many clan heads of remote antiquity families and sects masters bowed to him one after another. The youngsters were curious. Was this Lin Wuti? For some of them, it was their first time seeing it. As expected, he was strong enough to be on equal footing with these top-notch seniors. In fact, he was even superior to those of the older generation. Lin Xian nodded and walked towards the depths of the island. Finally, a vast square appeared in front of them. There were many people sitting there. It seemed that the banquet was about to begin. Sitting on both sides below were the Mesozoic generation, as well as some of the top geniuses. Those sitting above were the clan heads and sex masters of top-notch sects and families. The most dazzling were the people of the Emperor clan. They were high and mighty, as if they were supreme kings. However, sitting in the middle of these Emperor clan people was a man dressed in black. He had a desolate aura on him. He should be from the barren tomb. After seeing Lin Xian arrive, the people in the hall all turned their heads to look at him. They all stared at Lin Xian. "You are Lin Wuti, right? You are indeed a young hero. Since you are here, please take a seat," Huang Qing said with a smile in the sky. He waved his sleeve, and 3 seats appeared on both sides below. Obviously, these seats were reserved for Lin Xian and the other two. However, many people frowned. This time, was he going to show Lin Xian who was in his power? One had to know that Lin Xian and the other two had extraordinary statuses. If Morong Qingcheng and Yen Ryu were to sit in the lower seats, then it would be fine. After all, many of the people here were from the Emperor clan and their clan heads. However, Lin Xian was different. Lin Xian wasn't just a genius of the younger generation. He was also the Divine Union's alliance master and the Triple Crown champion. He was above everyone else. Letting him sit below, didn't this mean that his status was lower than those patriarchs? That was impossible. After all, even the clan heads of the Emperor clan had to be extremely polite in front of him. As for this arrangement, it was clear that Huang Qing had done it deliberately. It should be to target Lin Xian. How would Lin Wuti deal with it? Would he attack directly? The atmosphere in the hall changed instantly. Some people from the Divine Union stood up when they saw this. The dark red divine dragon snorted coldly. "You guys are too ignorant. Don't you know the status of the Divine Union's chief?" Bai Susu also snorted. "How dare you let our alliance master sit here? What's the meaning of this?" Questioning voices rang out one after another. Countless people turned to look at Huang Qing and Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood there with his hands behind his back. The smile on his face had disappeared, and a cold glint appeared in his eyes. He naturally knew that Huang Qing was trying to deal with him. Previously, a powerhouse had walked out of the desolate hill and stood on the side of the Purple Mansion. In the end, he had been injured by Luo Yunyang's 6 paths of reincarnation. Therefore, Huang Qing had appeared to target him. At the very least, he had to intimidate him. However, Lin Xian wasn't a pushover. Not just anyone could intimidate him. Today, he wanted to see whether the person in front of him had the qualifications to intimidate him. The Phoenix clan head spoke up. Letting Lin Gongzi sit below was really against the rules. Many people gasped when they heard this. After all, some of the clans wanted to see a joke. However, it seemed that this wasn't the case. Lin Xian had already joined forces with some of the monarch clans. For example, the Phoenix clan was completely on Lin Xian's side. The Yi clan head also spoke in a deep voice. Indeed, he hoped that fellow Taoist Huang would consider it carefully. The Qilin clan also spoke up. Following that, the ancient clans and peerless sects also spoke up. Although they spoke tactfully, they were all supporting Lin Xian. Some were even criticizing Huang Qing. This caused Huang Qing's face to darken. He represented the desolate hill and was from the forbidden lands of life. No one dared to challenge him. Even the great emperor clans had to be courteous when they saw him. But now he wanted to intimidate a young man, but he couldn't do it. Instead, these great emperor clans came to plead for leniency. Was this young man already so powerful? The desolate hill definitely wouldn't allow such a person to continue being arrogant. He looked at the people from the great emperor clans around him and snorted coldly. The corners of his mouth curled up. "Is that so? You're all helping him?" Well, there were only so many seats above anyway. If anyone wanted to help Lin Gongzi, they would stand up, walk down, and give their seats to him. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire world instantly fell silent. Many people's pupils shrank. Chapter 55-25. It was terrifyingly quiet. The great monarch clans frowned too. Huang Ling's methods were really ruthless. These great emperor clans could help Lin Xian, but no one was willing to let Lin Xian replace their positions. Therefore, they all fell silent. Damn it! The Crimson Dragon and the others also frowned. It seemed that the situation was not good. Could it be that this time? Were they really going to show Lin Xian who was in charge? Countless eyes looked at Lin Xian. Some were curious and wanted to know what Lin Xian was going to do. Some sneered and hoped that Lin Xian would be unlucky. Lin Xian raised his head and walked forward. Everyone was stunned. What was he going to do? Even the great emperor clans were puzzled. Was he really going to ask them to give up their seats? If that happened, they would lose all their face. They might even go crazy and attack him. No one wanted to be enemies with Lin Wuti, but no great emperor clans wanted to be slapped in the face. So, this was a difficult situation to solve. Lin Xian stepped on the stairs and went up to the sky. He looked at the row of people and glanced at them. The great emperor clans were extremely nervous, but they soon breathed a sigh of relief. They realized that Lin Xian's gaze did not stop at them. Instead, he went to the middle. Soon, Lin Xian stared at Huang Qing. Huang Qing also frowned. "Who allowed you to come up?" He scolded coldly. Lin Xian smiled. "Didn't you say that someone would give up their seat for me? I think yours is good. Why don't you give it to me?" Everyone was in an uproar. They didn't expect Lin Xian to target Huang Qing. Huang Qing was also angry. "At this banquet, I will be representing Huang Ling. Are you challenging the desolate tomb? Don't scare me. With Huang Ling Mount, Eternal tried to kill me, but failed. Huang Ling is as strong as Mount Eternal. You don't have the right to threaten me. You asked me if I was challenging the desolate tomb. My answer to you is I am challenging you. What can you do about it?" Crazy. He was extremely arrogant. The surrounding people went crazy. Lin Wuti was really too arrogant. Originally, Huang Qing wanted to give Lin Xian a show of strength and make a fool of Lin Xian. But who would have thought that Lin Xian wasn't afraid at all? Instead, he wanted to slap the other party's face. This was truly a fierce battle between a dragon and a tiger. Not knowing what the final result would be, everyone became excited. Although they didn't know what the banquet was about, they felt that it was worth it to come here. Huang Qing's face was terrifyingly dark. He said in a low voice, "Brat, think clearly about the consequences of opposing our barren hill. I don't need to know. I only know that I don't have a place to sit. If you let me sit, I won't attack you. Save some face for the barren tomb. Otherwise, don't blame me for throwing you down." At the end of his speech, Lin Xian's body suddenly erupted with a trace of biting cold devil qi. It was as if he had turned into a demon god. At this moment, the world became oppressive, and everyone felt their scalps go numb. Huang Qing was also angry. "You're courting death. Everyone says that you're Lin Wuti, invincible in the world. I want to experience it for myself." He slapped out with his palm, and 5 chains appeared on his palm, emitting an earth-shaking sound. They charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his hand, and a Tai Chi diagram appeared and kept spinning. The aura of yin and yang blocked the 5 chains. At the same time, another palm slapped towards the other party. "You're courting death." Huang Qing was also angry. The other party dared to attack him. In an instant, he struck out with a terrifying light. It was a desolate blade that seemed to be able to cut through everything. In Lin Xian's right hand, a war map appeared. The war map of the heavens carried endless fighting spirit. The two collided and actually forced Huang Qing back. Lin Xian took a step forward and sat down. "Thank you," he said with a smile. The others widened their eyes. They didn't expect Lin Wuti to really succeed. After Huang Qing was forced back, he was also angry. He was actually slapped in the face. "Damn brat, you've completely angered me." The void behind him split open, and an ancient bronze coffin appeared. The ancient coffin carried an endless aura, as if it wanted to suppress the world. As soon as it appeared, everyone's scalps went numb. The coffin of desolation? Some people from the emperor clans were shocked. Desolate tomb. Just from the name, it should be extremely extraordinary. Not only did it carry an aura of desolation, but it also buried some ancient coffins. They didn't expect Huang Qing to bring out an ancient coffin. What was buried was a supreme powerhouse from ancient times. Once it came out, no one knew what kind of power it would display. "Stop." The old phoenix walked out and shook her head. The Yi family, the Qilin clan, the Kuanpeng clan, and other great emperor clans also came out to persuade him. They knew that Lin Xian had an extreme weapon. If they continued to fight, it would be difficult to determine the outcome. Moreover, this time, desolate tomb, should have an important matter to discuss with them. Therefore, they all tried to persuade him. Huang Qing's expression was ugly. These people from the emperor clans were actually still on Lin Xian's side. Damn it. But soon he smiled. He would let this brat be arrogant for a while. He would cry later. So he said, "All right, I'll give you all face. You all can sit back down." Huang Qing didn't do anything else. Instead, he stood in the void. He looked around in all directions. At this moment, the Gu family's patriarch asked, "May I know why young master has invited us here?" "Yeah." The others were also puzzled. Huang Qing said, "This matter is very simple. It's not a big deal." Now that desolate tomb has recovered, shouldn't you all show some appreciation? As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. They didn't expect the other party to come for this. However, there was no need to hold a banquet and gather everyone together. Right? The Gu family's elder smiled. "That's easy. We've prepared a congratulatory gift today." As he spoke, he waved his hand and took out 3 treasure boxes. Great Tao interweaved on them. It was obvious that the items inside were all extraordinary items. The other emperor clans and clan of the ancients were also prepared. They all took out gifts to congratulate Huang Qing. However, Huang Qing smiled. "That's all? I think you've misunderstood. That's not what Desolate Tomb wants." "Then what do you want?" The Kuan-Peng patriarch also frowned. Huang Qing's eyes shone with an intense light. "I want half of your resources." "What?" As soon as these words came out, everyone was in an uproar. Even the patriarchs of the emperor clans suddenly stood up. Their faces darkened. "Half of the resources? What arrogance!" The Phoenix patriarch snorted coldly. The Kuan-Peng patriarch also said, "Could it be that you're drunk and talking in your sleep? How laughable! These are the gifts. If you don't want them, then forget it." The Gu family's people also waved their embroidered robes and put away the 3 treasure boxes. The other clan of the ancients and the peerless sects discussed animatedly. No one was willing to give half of their resources to the other party. However, Lin Xian furrowed his brows. Chapter 55-26. Huang Qing wasn't an idiot. Since the other party dared to gather all the great emperor clans together and said such words, it meant that the other party was prepared. But what exactly was it? He didn't know. He sent a message to Murong Qingcheng and the others, telling them to be careful and be prepared to retreat. The people of the Divine Union nodded after hearing the message. They took a deep breath and prepared in secret. The other great emperor clans were infuriated. That was because Huang Qing was truly too arrogant. He was simply demanding an exorbitant price. In the void, Huang Qing's face darkened. He said in a deep voice, "Everyone, you may have misunderstood. I'm not negotiating with you. I'm giving you one last chance. Now sign the Blood Alliance letter and hand over half of your clan's resources to us. Then I'll let you leave safely. Otherwise..." He didn't say anything else and just sneered. This made everyone frown. The leader of the Golden Crow clan sneered. "Otherwise what? What can you do? We have so many people now. Even if you have a human sovereign, what can you do?" That's right. The other clans were also discussing. With the great emperor clans around, they were very confident. "Really? We can't do anything to you?" Huang Qing shook his head and smiled. "You guys are too confident. How about this? I'll let you guys meet a friend." Then he waved his hand and said, "Old friend, come out." When these words were spoken, everyone was curious. Who was it? Could it be that the human sovereign was really here? They were all on guard. Another figure appeared in the void in the distance. It was a woman. She was also dressed in black and had a mysterious and terrifying aura. Her appearance shocked countless people. Who was this person? It shouldn't be the human sovereign. The woman in black walked over and said with a smile, "Is it time for me to come out so soon?" Huang Qing said, "These people don't know what's good for them. They think they can contend with us. Now let's teach them a lesson." The woman in black walked out and looked around. "I'll give you one last chance. Are you really not going to cooperate?" "Humph, who are you?" The leader of the Kunping clan snorted. The others frowned. The other party looked like a young genius. Did she have any means to deal with them? The woman in black said, "Let me introduce myself. I'm the Eternal Princess from Eternal Mountain." As soon as he said this, everyone's pupils shrank. Mount Eternal, one of the forbidden lands of life, was extremely terrifying. Damn it, the two forbidden lands have joined hands. So what? The Gu clan's people also snorted coldly. No matter how strong the two forbidden lands were, they couldn't stop them. This time, we've all brought extreme weapons. Therefore, I advise you not to do anything foolish. That's right. Those people from the Emperor clan all walked out, their bodies releasing a trace of extreme Tao aura. Clearly, they were trying to intimidate the two forbidden lands. The indestructible princess smiled gently. "Seniors, you are so powerful. How can a weak woman like me be your match? However, you also said that you have extreme weapons. That means that your clans don't have any extreme weapons to suppress them. When the time comes, I wonder how many clans will be able to defend themselves under the iron hooves of my Mount Eternal. Perhaps the human supremes of Mount Eternal will also come out for a visit." As soon as he said this, everyone's expression changed. Not good. Luring the tiger away from the mountain. Damn it. In an instant, someone rushed out wanting to leave. However, Huang Qing sneered. A black crack appeared in the sky, and those who flew in seemed to have entered a quagmire. Their speed slowed down infinitely, and they were finally beaten back. What was going on? The Golden Crow clan's powerhouse's expressions changed drastically. They seemed to have been sealed just now. What was this? The other clans also tried, and there was also an uproar. The Gu clan snorted coldly. They had the Void laws. The Void, ancient scripture, was extremely mysterious, and its spatial powers were unpredictable. However, they were also blocked. This shocked countless people. What was this? Was it a formation? Don't resist. Although we can't defeat you, it shouldn't be a problem for us to stop you. As for what this formation is, I can tell you directly. Void, tribulation formation. It's also a spatial power, and it's related to the Void Emperor. Even if you have extreme weapons, I can still teleport you to the depths of the universe in an instant. Even if you can rush back, your clans will be destroyed by then. I want to see who is willing to be the first to be destroyed. Hearing this, everyone's expressions became incomparably ugly. They were all staring at the Gu clan. Have you joined forces? The Gu clan's people also shook their heads. What a joke. How could they join forces? Damn it, how do you have such a formation? Huang Qing laughed loudly. Why, did you forget? Previously, the Void Emperor had fought with the human sovereigns of desolation. Back then, he was injured. Our human sovereign has unfathomable power. He used the Void Emperor's blood to create this void. Tribulation formation. It's even more powerful than your Gu clan's ancient scripture. Do you want to try it? As soon as these words came out, the scalps of the surrounding people went numb. The human sovereign was actually so terrifying. This was impossible. The human sovereign who fought with the Void Emperor back, then was still alive. The Void Monarch capital no longer existed. What was going on? What kind of existence was the human sovereign of Desolate? These people were all crazy. Even Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. The situation was not good. He asked DeLong, "Is the human sovereign from back then the same person as the one now?" DeLong said, "If there were no accidents, they should be the same person." Lin Xian said, "That's impossible. How many tens of thousands of years have passed here? 100,000 years? 200,000 years? How could he live for so long? De Long said, "The human sovereign is a very special existence. You will know in the future. Don't underestimate them. They are not something that quasi-emperors can compare to." Hearing this, Lin Xian's brows furrowed tightly. The methods of a human sovereign were indeed terrifying and mysterious. They could actually form such a formation. And this was not the end. Huang Qing actually took out another treasure. It was a decree, a bronze scroll. It was the decree of the human sovereign. After he took it out, he knelt on the ground and opened it respectfully. A vast power spread out. It belonged to the power of a human sovereign. It swept out in all directions. It even formed a blurry figure. That person looked down on the world. He couldn't be seen clearly, but he was like a god that suppressed the 9 heavens. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. Was this the human sovereign? Just a single decree was already so terrifying. Damn it, I don't believe it. The patriarch of the Kunpeng clan shouted angrily. Their extreme weapons instantly erupted with light. They wanted to use their full strength. The entire world shook violently. At this moment, the supreme figure in the decree waved his hand. In the void, the tribulation formation instantly teleported the people of the Kunpeng clan away. A spatial crack appeared between heaven and earth with destructive power. However, the people of the Kunpeng clan disappeared. Were they really teleported away? Chapter 55:27. Were they really teleported away? Countless people were shocked. The pupils of the Yi family shrunk. Not good. This was the mortal sovereign's doing. It seemed like they were well prepared this time. They had been completely tricked. The other monarch families' faces turned ugly. They had extreme weapons in their hands, but they couldn't escape now. At most, they could only guarantee their safety. This mortal sovereign was too scary. He didn't even come, but he already had such great power. These people were in despair. Someone said, "Why don't we agree to it before leaving? Leave and then return?" Some people shook their heads. The Blood Alliance Treaty was signed with one's soul and bloodline. Once they went back on their word, they would definitely die. If so many people died, it would be a heavy blow to the monarch families. Everyone's face turned pale. If they had known, they wouldn't have come. What kind of banquet was this? They were in a dilemma now. I advise you all not to resist, or you will end up in a miserable state, Huang Qing said with a smile. The mortal sovereign's arrangements were so thorough. How could these big families be compared to them? One had to know that even the great emperors couldn't do anything to the mortal sovereign. Thinking of this, he was even more proud. At this moment, he looked at Lin Xian and said, "Lin Gongzi, do you still dare to be arrogant now?" Huang Qing's eyes were cold. Lin Xian had slapped his face before. Now, he was going to be the first to take revenge. He strode over to Lin Xian and said, "Lin Gongzi, sign the Blood Alliance Treaty. Otherwise, I'll destroy the divine union." Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The first person to attack was Lin Wudi. Everyone looked at Lin Xian. If Lin Wudi also lowered his head, the other great emperor families would have no hope. The people of the divine union gritted their teeth. Damn it, they couldn't accept it. The eternal princess also came, her eyes filled with killing intent. He knew that Lin Wudi had killed many of their experts from Mount Eternal. This time, as long as they had the chance, they would ruthlessly suppress him. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the 2 people in front of him. He sneered. "What if I refuse?" What? As soon as he said that, everyone was dumbfounded. Rejected. Lin Wudi actually dared to refuse. The immortal princess also stopped smiling, and Huang Qing's face darkened. "Reject? In that case, I will destroy your divine union." There was no need to doubt the power of Mount Eternal. This time, there was also the power of a human sovereign behind the scenes. You won't be able to resist it at all. I'm giving you one last chance. Huang Qing was truly furious. His first target was Lin Wuti. He wanted to make Lin Wuti bow his head. This was because the other party's reputation was simply too great. If the other party were to lower his head, the other great emperor clans would definitely submit to him obediently. No one dared to resist. But who would have thought that Lin Xian would be so uncooperative and reject him directly? Therefore, he had to threaten them again. Taking a step forward, Zhang Xian's strength burst forth. The supreme decree in the sky blossomed with even more dazzling light. Lin Xian also stood up. She said, "I'll say it for the last time. I'm going to refuse." Shock, incomparable shock. Who would have thought that under such circumstances Lin Xian would still be so tyrannical? However, would the divine union really be able to resist? Despicable. Attack. Huang Qing shouted angrily. The immortal princess snorted coldly. He had said, "Don't worry, leave it to me." He took out a bell, shook it gently, and started transmitting his voice. Soon, he smiled and said, "Just wait. It won't be long before the news of the divine union's destruction spreads." Everyone waited anxiously. The members of the divine union also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. However, Lin Xian was very calm. He sat down again, picked up a cup of spirit tea, and slowly tasted it. "Oh, is that so? Then let's wait and see." He wasn't in a hurry, as he had already left behind a trump card in the divine union. The immortal princess wasn't joking this time. Mount Eternal and Mount Huangling had joined forces. Huang Qing had made his move to restrain the people from the great emperor clans before Mount Eternal attacked. Suddenly, a terrifying figure appeared on Mount Eternal, blotting out the sky and forming a black chariot that flew towards the divine union. The chariot rolled, and the sky and earth shattered. The ancient sacred origin city shook violently once again. Countless people looked up at the sky. Was someone going to attack the divine union again? This was the power of the Eternal Three. Was the Forbidden Land also attacking the divine union? What was going on? They had heard that the divine union and the great emperor clans had gone to attend a banquet. Why was this happening? Countless voices of discussion were heard. They didn't understand and could only prostrate on the ground. A black pagoda appeared in the sky and crushed down mercilessly. Together with the chariot, it could sweep everything away. Not good. The people of the Sky Sect and Earth Sect were shocked. This method was comparable to an extreme weapon. Even the patriarchs of the Tao wouldn't be able to resist it. However, the patriarchs of the Tao in the divine union were gathered here. There was indeed a trap. They had actually launched such an attack. "Everyone, let's make our move too." They shouted angrily and took out a black jar together. The sky's swallowing jar was unleashed and swept across the sky. The terrifying black vortex and the terrifying pagoda fought against each other. An extreme weapon attack shattered the sky and earth. The terrifying power spread through the 9 heavens. At this moment, the entire burial earth star felt it. Above the demon sea on the White Bone Island, those people were also shocked. Even the extreme weapons started to shake. The people of the Gu family exclaimed. This was an extreme weapon confrontation. This was the power of the sky's swallowing jar. The people of the Qilin clan were also shocked. Lin Wuti didn't bring the sky's swallowing jar? He was really bold. Lin Xian's lips curled up. Some people were going to be slapped in the face again. Didn't they vow to destroy the divine union? Could they do it? If they didn't have the right, then don't jump around in front of me. If you continue to be arrogant, I will kill you. Lin Xian's voice was cold as he slapped Huang Qing and the immortal princess in the face. The two of them looked extremely ugly. Damn it. The sky's swallowing jar. The other party had actually left the sky's swallowing jar in the divine union. So what? They didn't believe it. He should have brought Qinglian with him to attack the Demon King Mountain. The immortal princess gave the order again. Everyone looked at Yen Ruyu. It was no secret that Yen Ruyu was the descendant of the Azure Emperor. He had the extreme weapon of the Azure Emperor and lived in the Demon King Mountain. Now that he was here, the Demon King Mountain was going to be destroyed. Outside, the black chariot charged over with the indestructible pagoda. At this moment, the Demon King Mountain shook violently. The nearby mountains were all destroyed. The great demons in the Demon King Mountain also looked up at the sky. Their faces became extremely solemn. They shouted angrily and roared at the sky. Fight! These great demons rushed into the sky. Behind them, a Qinglian bloomed. It seemed to have turned into a Qinglian world and spread out. Chapter 55:28. The green lotus swept across the land, displaying the same extreme Tao aura. It blocked the attack of Mount Eternal. The black pagoda collided with it in the air, and endless flames pierced through the 9 heavens. However, there was nothing they could do. After all, the other party had the protection of an extreme Tao weapon. It was too terrifying. Someone was attacking Mount Eternal. Was it Mount Eternal? Heavens, what was Mount Eternal trying to do? When the people on Burial Earth Star sensed this, they exclaimed again. At the same time, their scalps went numb. Some of the Emperor clans were even more nervous, because their extreme Tao weapons had been taken away. At this time, if Mount Eternal attacked them, they would be in real danger. Quickly, activate the array. The great Emperor clans and remote antiquity clans activated the array. At the same time, some of the elders in the clans frowned. Why did they feel like this was a trap? White Bone Island also felt 2 shocking forces sweeping through the 9 heavens. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile as he looked forward. However, Princess Bumie's face became extremely ugly. Damn it, another extreme grade weapon. You actually left the Azure Emperor's extreme grade weapon in the Monster Emperor Mountain? He stared fixedly at Yen Ryu, not daring to believe it. The others were also in an uproar. Didn't Lin Wudi and Yen Ryu not bring any extreme Tao weapons? Did they come alone? That was too bold. Did they not have any extreme Tao weapons? Very well, let's kill them then. Huang Qing shouted coldly. The sovereign law above his head released endless killing intent. Thousands of rays of light fell, sweeping toward Lin Xian and Yen Ryu. Many people were shocked. Murong Qingqing snorted and took out the desolate tower. The terrifying desolate tower suppressed the heaven and earth, blocking the power of the mortal law. The 2 of them fought, destroying everything. The surrounding people retreated, as if they were facing a great enemy. Was it extreme Tao were going to break out? Yen Ryu said coldly. 1 emperor weapon was enough. Shocking, extremely shocking. No one expected Lin Wudi to not know about such a method. Some people sighed. There was no other way. The Divine Union had 3 emperor weapons. They only had 1 and couldn't arrange it. Only Lin Wudi could use such a method. The others shook their heads and sighed. Huang Qing gnashed his teeth in anger. Lin Xian stood up and said in a clear voice, "Now that I say I refuse, do you still have any objections?" Damn it, the indestructible princess's face was also incomparably gloomy. This time, the 2 Forbidden Grounds had teamed up to suppress the martial monarch clans in the surroundings. They wanted these martial monarch clans to hand over half of their strength to them. But now, because of Lin Wudi, they couldn't continue. If even Lin Wudi couldn't be suppressed, what could they do? At this time, Huang Qing said, "Good, Lin Wudi, you're good. I underestimated you. But just you wait, I'll deal with you after this is over." As he spoke, he no longer paid any attention to Lin Xian. Instead, he turned to look at the others. "I can't do anything about Lin Wudi, but none of you can run away. You only have a single monarch weapon, right? If you carry it with you now, I'm afraid your martial monarch clans will be defenseless. Even if there's a formation, it won't be able to withstand the power of a human sovereign. Now, sign the blood-red contract and give us half of your clan's strength. We can choose not to attack. Otherwise, your clan will be annihilated. No, the remote antiquity clans were in despair. Even the martial monarch clan's faces were incomparably ugly. Damn it, we've fallen. This time, we've really fallen into the hands of the Forbidden Grounds. They were unwilling to accept this, but in order to protect their clans, they had to do this. However, at this time, Lin Xian walked out and said, "There's no need for half. As long as you give me 1/5 of your clan's strength, I'll consider protecting your clans." What? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. One after another, all eyes fell on Lin Xian. Although 1/5 was a shocking amount of resources, it made their hearts bleed. But compared to the other half, it was really too good. So they were all excited. "Lin Gongzi, do you really have a way?" "Yes, Lin Gongzi, although we know that you're resourceful. You're also on Whitebone Island now. How are you going to go back?" Lin Xian said, "Don't worry, it's just the strength of Mount Eternal. After we go out, we'll directly block Mount Eternal. This way, you won't be in danger, right? Then you can find a way to go back. I just want to waste some time. Isn't time what you're lacking now? How about I provide you with this time difference?" Hearing this, the remote antiquity clans regained their hope. Even the martial monarch clans were tempted. Although 1/5 of the resources was a lot, they decided to go all out. "Okay, Lin Gongzi, if you can go out and block the power of Mount Eternal, then we'll agree to your request." The elder of the Qilin clan nodded. The Yi clan and the Phoenix clan also spoke one after another. After a few big clans spoke, the others had no choice. For example, the Gu clan was unwilling, but there was nothing they could do. The people of the Skyblade sect could only bow their heads. Now, they could only place their hopes on Lin Xian. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Okay, but even 1/5 of the power is a shocking amount of wealth for the martial monarch clans. So, it's better to swear with your Dao heart." The martial monarch clans all swore with their Dao hearts. The other remote antiquity clans and great sects did the same. The Dao heart was also very effective, so one couldn't easily swear. Once one swore, one had to agree. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian nodded. "Okay, you guys can wait here." At this moment, Huang Qing was angry. "Do you think I don't exist?" He looked at the surrounding martial monarch clans and remote antiquity clans. He shouted coldly, "Are you crazy? There's a human sovereign and a void formation. How can that kid go out? Who do you think he is?" Huang Qing was really crazy. Originally, he was the main character today. All the martial monarch clans had to lower their noble heads in front of him. He could trample the entire burial earth under his feet. But now, it was not like that at all. In the blink of an eye, these martial monarch clans had reached an agreement with Lin Wudi. They even wanted to ask Lin Wudi for help. Lin Xian had become the most dazzling light in the world, while he was dim and lightless. How could he endure it? So he roared crazily. He stared at Lin Xian and said, "You want to go out? Stop dreaming. It's impossible in this lifetime. The supreme decree is very terrifying. It can definitely contend with your extreme Dao weapon. As for the void formation, don't even think about leaving. Even if you go out, I can instantly teleport you to the desolate border of the universe. Don't even think about coming back in this lifetime." Chapter 55:29. Huang Qing was extremely confident in the mortal decree and the void array. She didn't believe that Lin Xian could escape. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "You're too confident. So, what if you have the power of a mortal supremacy? You're not a mortal supremacy now. The supremacy hasn't shown her true body either. Do you think you can fight me with just 2 weapons? You're too naive. When I swept the world, You hadn't even been unsealed. You don't have the right to jump around in front of me now. Lin Xian scolded coldly. Damn it, Lin Wuti. How dare you slap my face and shout at me? Unforgivable. Huang Qing was also furious. He waved his hand and activated the power of the mortal decree. Endless rays of light exploded in the sky as the supremacy decree unfolded. The great Tao runes on it contained the power of immortal supremacy. It was enough to suppress everything. The surrounding people tried to block it. Their extreme weapons could only defend, but they didn't dare to attack. Anyone who attacked would be teleported to the outskirts of the universe. Even if they didn't die, no one knew how long it would take for them to return. When they returned, their families might have been wiped out. Thus, they could only look at Lin Xian and say, Lin Gongzi, we can only rely on you. Lin Gongzi, as long as you succeed, 1/5 of the resources will be given to you. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The divine union gather. The surrounding people of the divine union gathered around him. Murong Qingcheng even took out the desolate tower to block it. A bronze pagoda bloomed between heaven and earth. Billions of stars swayed. The power of immortal supremacy was also blocked. The two shocked the entire world. Everyone held their breaths. Could it succeed? It was blocked. As expected of the desolate tower, it was also an extremely terrifying extreme weapon. However, some people frowned. For example, the Gu family frowned. Lin Wuti could block it. But so what? The most terrifying thing was the void array. This was the power of our emperor. It contained the blood of the void emperor. Furthermore, it was an array set up by immortal supremacy. After so many years, the Gu family wouldn't be able to escape even if they used their emperor abilities. How could Lin Wuti escape? This was what they were most concerned about. Even if Lin Wuti used the desolate tower to tear apart the defense, he would probably be teleported to the outskirts of the universe like the Kunpeng clan. Just disappear. In this way, they would also be unable to be rescued. So, they were very nervous. Lin Xian said, Qingcheng, you can block the power of the Paragon Law Decree. Susu, Ruzalong, both of you provide power to Qingcheng. Leave the rest to me. The Crimson Dragon said, Kid, this void formation is really not ordinary. I can sense sovereign blood spreading out, as well as an extremely powerful power. Can you really do it? As a master of formations, the Crimson Dragon's brows were also tightly knitted as he stared at the formation. It wasn't any weaker than a great emperor's formation. Moreover, it was the scariest void teleportation formation among the great emperor formations. If there was even the slightest mistake, they would most likely be exiled from the universe, never to return. Lin Xian said, Leave it to me. His eyes shone with an extremely cold light. At the same time, he sent a sound transmission. DeLong, it's up to you now. There was still some power in the sword world that could be used. Lin Xian had always kept the power of the sword world. Even if he used it, he would only use a portion of it. But this time, he couldn't wait any longer. He had to use all of his remaining power, because only by breaking through the void formation could it leave. And once he succeeded, he would receive the power of a large family and sect, as well as the emperor race. That would be an astonishing amount of power, even surpassing that of an emperor race. And that power, Lin Xian would give all of it to the sword world. Therefore, Lin Xian decided to stake it all on this one throw. DeLong nodded. He was also looking forward to it. With so much power, after giving it to the sword world, who knew how much it would recover? Because he knew that when that thing came, the entire world would probably produce endless strange phenomena. Many unexpected things would happen. And Lin Xian, if he wanted to continue growing quickly in such a situation, and even fight with some ancient existences, then he had to rely on the sword world. Therefore, this time, Lin Xian made the most correct decision. DeLong was also very supportive. He said that he would use all of his strength to activate the great dragon sword soul. Prepare. Lin Xian took a deep breath and roared. Attack. With a roar, Murong Qingsheng and the people of the Divine Union fought against the decree with all their might. On Lin Xian's body, a dragon-shaped sword aura appeared and enveloped him. The terrifying sword light swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Boom, boom. Great dragon sword soul. Many people from the emperor race exclaimed when they saw this scene. Lin Xian also had the great dragon sword soul, which was extremely powerful. However, the people from the Gu family also frowned. Although the great dragon sword soul was powerful, it was an offensive saint technique. However, whether or not they could break the void formation was still unknown. The other members of the imperial clans also frowned. However, they could only rely on Lin Xian now. Humph, it's useless. Huang Qing sneered. The power of the void formation is far above yours. Unless you're a resurrected emperor, you can forget about leaving this place. As soon as he said that, Lin Xian roared, and the sword aura on his body soared into the sky. It swept in all directions. At the same time, it enveloped the people of the Divine Union. Go. They soared into the sky and flew into the sky. Void formation. Activate for me. Huang Qing activated the mortal decree and activated the power of the void formation. Endless cracks appeared in the void, leading to the universe. There was also a lightning tribulation spreading. This was an extremely powerful spatial formation. Send it to the edge of the universe. A mournful voice rang out. The void formation released endless spatial power. There was also emperor blood on it, enveloping Lin Xian and the others. Lin Xian and the others felt a powerful spatial power trying to take them away. Lin Xian roared angrily. Slash. The dragon roared. The great dragon sword soul absorbed the power of the sword world as if it had been resurrected. Between heaven and earth, a dragon sword bloomed and turned into the most dazzling light. It slashed towards the void formation. The two collided. The starry sky shattered, and the endless universe turned into darkness. Not good. Quickly defend. The people from the monarch clans also took out their monarch armaments to defend. They were horrified. How could the great dragon sword soul be so powerful? This Lin Wuyi was probably going all out. They didn't know if it would succeed. Everyone looked up at the sky. A huge black hole appeared in the sky, like the door of death. No one knew where it connected to. Puffed. Huang Qing's face was pale. He took a few steps back and spat out a mouthful of blood. His pupils constricted. Damn it. How could it be? How could it be like this? In the confrontation just now, he was injured. This was the result of the formation's backlash. A crack had appeared in the void formation. He was injured. Damn it, did he not control the other party? Impossible. Even if the void formation was attacked, it could still send that kid into the universe. It roared crazily. Chapter 55:30. The huge black hole in the sky slowly disappeared, and everything returned to normal. That's great. A smile appeared on Huang Qing's face. I knew it. It's absolutely impossible for this kid to resist the void formation. The immortal princess sneered. Lin Wuyi had teleported away. No one could fight against them now. He wanted to use the power of Mount Eternal. The faces of the other clans of the Huanggu clan and Monarch clan became extremely ugly. What happened? Could it be that Lin Wuyi didn't succeed? No. They were desperate. Even their last hope, Lin Wuyi, was gone. What about them? Didn't he succeed? Leaf Daodenier furrowed his brow. The Yi clan leader sighed. There was nothing they could do. The void formation had the power and blood of a human emperor. On the other side, the Gu clan had strange expressions. The blood of their great emperor was terrifying. It should have been a glorious thing for them, but now they were trapped. How ironic. Just as everyone was in despair, a voice came from outside the formation. The void formation was just SOSO. A human emperor was no big deal. You still can't stop me. Everyone looked up when they heard the voice. What? It was Lin Woody's voice. Heaven, it was ringing in their ears. Could it be that he had gone out? They looked up at the sky. A group of people appeared in the sky. These people were from the divine union. They stood there with pale faces and wounds on their bodies. It was obvious that they were injured, but they all came out, and standing at the front was a young man who looked like a god. It was Lin Woody. Heaven! He had succeeded. He had really succeeded. He had actually led the members of the divine union away. Exclamations rang out. At this moment, the monarch clans were so excited that they were about to cry. They saw hope. This was impossible. Huang Qing roared crazily, as if he had seen the most unbelievable thing. The void formation was terrifying. Even if you used an extreme weapon, it could still teleport you away. But why did Lin Woody do it? Why didn't he teleport away? Damn it, I don't believe it. He roared at the sky as if he had gone mad. His face had become ferocious. Damn it, how could this be? The indestructible princess was stunned as well. This Lin Woody strangeness was actually beyond their expectations. Lin Xian said, "Everyone remember your oath. I will stop Mount Eternal." Inside the formation, the Yi family, the Qilin clan, the Phoenix clan, and the others all bowed. The young master invited them in. "We will keep our word." "Good." Lin Xian laughed heartily. He turned around and led his men into the sky. They were going to intercept Mount Eternal. At the same time, Huang Qing roared, "Princess Eternal, let Mount Eternal attack the Phoenix clan first." A shrill voice rang out, causing the members of the Phoenix clan to become extremely nervous. The immortal princess quickly took out a black bell and transmitted her voice to the immortal princess. At the other side, Lin Xian and the others were also very fast. After coming out, the Crimson Dragon used earthly scripture. Under the ground, one formation after another appeared, absorbing the endless spirit veins for transportation. Every time they teleported, they would appear in a different sky. Lin Xian's face was pale. As she flew, she swallowed pills to recover. Although the sword just now was terrifying, she had already used up the power of the sword world. He was unable to unleash a second strike. Fortunately, they still had 3 emperor weapons. At this moment, Lin Xian was transmitting her voice to the savage ancestor and the others, asking them to bring the heaven-devouring jar. At the same time, Yenryu also asked the great demons of the Demon Emperor Mountain to bring Qinglian out. They were going to besiege Mount Eternal. The Phoenix clan also activated the Fire Phoenix formation. A Fire Phoenix spread its wings and swept across the 9 heavens. At this moment, a black chariot appeared in the sky. On the chariot, there was a monstrous aura of indestructibility. A pagoda flew out of the chariot. The pagoda was incomparably black, like an immemorial mountain. It shook the world. After the attack, endless mountains and rivers were shattered, and a terrifying crack appeared in the sky. The Phoenix clan was shaken by the impact. Even the Fire Phoenix that was spreading its wings dimmed. Damn it, what kind of power was this? It felt similar to an extreme weapon. Damn it, Mount Eternal, with a patriarch and the others trapped? Could they not come back? They did not see the powerhouses of the Phoenix clan or the Emperor weapon. This made the people of the Phoenix clan feel incomparable despair. Destroy. A figure appeared on the black chariot. It was a man in a black robe. His expression became incomparably cold. She was the first emissary of Mount Eternal. The previous 10 emissaries of Mount Eternal had all fallen, leaving only one emissary. It was him. Now he was outside preparing to attack. The first emissary sneered. There was no need for the Phoenix clan to exist. This time, he came with the power of the human sovereign. The human sovereign gave him a divine monument. It was a black stone monument, and he carefully held it in his hand. It had the power of the human sovereign, and it could completely activate the supreme pagoda and this chariot. Therefore, he could now be said to be a fox borrowing the tiger's might and sweeping through everything. So, what if it was a mere fire phoenix formation? The power of the immortal sovereign was not something you could imagine. As he spoke, he activated the black stone monument. The black stone monument bloomed, and endless light and inextinguishable power surged out. The pagoda in the sky fell mercilessly. The fire phoenix wailed, and cracks appeared on its body. Ha ha, die. With one more attack, the fire phoenix will shatter. The great emperor's clan might be conquered by him. Thinking of this, the first emissary became excited. At that time, the entire Phoenix clan would crawl under his feet. Attack me! The black pagoda in the sky fell again. No, the people of the Phoenix clan below were in despair. However, at this most critical moment, a soft shout sounded. You dare to attack the Phoenix clan? Unforgivable. As soon as the voice fell, another pagoda appeared in the sky. It was a bronze pagoda with the power of time. It directly rushed into the clouds and collided with the supreme pagoda. The two fought, and a sea of blood soared into the sky. The entire sky was completely shattered. The starlight from the outer realm shone in. It was blocked. The Phoenix clan opened their eyes and saw the supreme pagoda that was blocked in the sky. They cried out in surprise. It was the desolate pagoda. It was Qingcheng. Princess Qingcheng had come to save us. That's great. I knew that Princess Qingcheng would not give up on us. These people cried out in surprise. After the fall of Princess Fengjiu, Murong Qingcheng was the hope of the Phoenix clan. At this critical moment, Murong Qingcheng really came. Princess Qingcheng, please kill the powerful enemy. Bless us. Below, endless shouts sounded. Murong Qingcheng stood above the 9 heavens. She held the desolate pagoda in her hand like a peerless goddess. She said, with me around, no one can hurt the Phoenix clan. Chapter 55:31. Murong Qingcheng's appearance had protected the phoenixes. At the same time, the first emissary's face darkened on the black chariot. He stared at Murong Qingcheng and said through gritted teeth, I remember you. You were with Lin Wudi. Damn it, you're that invincible woman. I'll make Lin Wudi kneel at my feet if I catch you. He let out a shrill roar. The supreme pagoda fell mercilessly and fought with Murong Qingcheng. Murong Qingcheng used the desolate pagoda. At the same time, he said, give me power. Below, the phoenixes provided power. The desolate pagoda shone brightly and swept in all directions. At the same time, a cold snort came from the void. You want me to kneel? Do you have the ability to do so? Hearing this, the first emissary's pupils constricted. He turned his head abruptly. Who is it? When he saw a figure appear behind him, his expression became incomparably ugly. It's you, Lin Wudi. You're here too. He gritted his teeth. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You didn't expect it, did you? Defeated. Kneel on the ground obediently and submit to me. Damn it. The first emissary roared. I'm no longer the same person as before. Do you see that? This black stone tablet is the power of the immortal supremacy. What do you have to fight me? He roared and urged the black chariot to charge forward. The black chariot was also an extremely terrifying weapon. It charged forward violently and shattered the 9 heavens. A black vortex appeared in front of Lin Xian, swallowing the heavens and the earth. It blocked the black chariot. Damn it, 2 extreme grade weapons? But Lin Wuti, you only have half an extreme weapon. You might not be able to defeat me. The first emissary's eyes were filled with killing intent. I lost to you before, but this time I'll make you kneel at my feet. He roared angrily and was about to attack. Lin Xian smiled. Is that so? Who told you that there were only two of us? Ruyu, come out. Yan Ruyu also walked out from the other void. Behind him, a green lotus bloomed. As it swayed, it shattered the 9 heavens. The first emissary's face turned even uglier. She knew this woman as well. These were all experts in the dragon transformation battle, and the other party had actually brought an extreme weapon, facing 3 extreme grade weapons against him. He was so frightened that he hurriedly recalled the Supreme Pagoda. Ha ha! How is it? Are you scared out of your wits? Behind them, the people from the Divine Union also arrived. The toad jumped out and said, Little brats, you want to contend with the Divine Union? You are far from it. The Crimson Dragon also sneered, Cultivate for another 10,000 years. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to defeat yours truly. Damn toads and snakes, go to hell. The toad was furious. She jumped out, and I threw up all over your face. His spit flew out and flew towards the first emissary. The first time he dodged, his expression became even colder. Ants, I will make you pay the price. He roared crazily. Lin Xian coldly snorted and attacked. The 3 extreme grade weapons emitted brilliant radiance as they unleashed terrifying attacks. The battle chariot and the Supreme Pagoda shook nonstop. The first emissary was shocked. Her face turned pale and she looked terrified. Damn it! Impossible! How did you come out? Damn it! What are those people from the Barren Hill doing? Why did they let these guys come out? He was going crazy because he had received accurate information that Lin Xian and the others had gone to the Whitebone Island. The Whitebone Island had long been sealed by the people from the Barren Hill. No one could escape, especially that array. Even the attack of an extreme grade weapon could only be transported. They would never return. That was why the first emissary had the chance to kill so many people. But now Lin Wuti and the others had appeared and brought 3 extreme grade weapons. This was completely out of his expectations. For a moment, his face was frighteningly dark. She wanted to ask the immortal princess what was going on. Lin Xian coldly snorted. No need to ask. I will tell you, I walked out of the void array. Impossible! The first emissary shook her head frantically. She had heard of how terrifying the void array was. She would never be able to walk out, not even with an emperor weapon. Kid, don't try to lie to me. You must have used a clone to go and hid your real body. Humph, coward. The first emissary felt that she was right. Lin Xian coldly sneered. What? Are you going to challenge me to a one-on-one? That's right. The first emissary stood up and said, What's the point of fighting me with 3 extreme grade weapons? Ha 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 ha, I'm dying of laughter. You dare to challenge me to a one-on-one? Who do you think you are? The toad coldly sneered. The Crimson Dragon also said, I advise you to kneel on the ground and kowtow. You are not Lin Wuti's opponent. Yan Ruyu and the others also shook their heads and sneered. Do you still have the right to do that? The people from the Divine Union also had strange expressions. How dare this kid challenge their boss Lin to a one-on-one? Did water get into his brain? Lin Xian chuckled as well. He looked ahead and said, You're really brave, but did you hear what they said? You are not my opponent at all. Therefore, kneeling and kowtowing is your best choice. Damn it, how dare you look down on me? What do you bunch of ants know? The first emissary took a step forward. The inextinguishable energy on his body became even more terrifying. I am no longer the same as before. Lin Wuti, I may have lost to you, but this time I will not lose again. Get over here and fight me. The first emissary was full of pride. After returning, he was indeed punished. However, he cultivated even harder. His strength had become even stronger than when he was in the dragon transformation trial. This time, he was put in an important position and came out to sweep everyone. So what if he met Lin Wuyi? He was confident that he could beat him. How stupid! Lin Xian shook his head. However, since you have spoken, I will fulfill your wish. Come on, I will use one hand. Kid, you will regret this. You will pay the price for your arrogance. The first emissary walked out. He decided to use his most terrifying strength to kill his opponent. He walked out of the war chariot. The inextinguishable energy on his body condensed and formed a black spear. It was as if he had turned into a black dragon that made the world lose its light. Yan Ruyu and the others were shocked. They had to admit that the first emissary's strength was much stronger than during the dragon transformation trial. However, they shook their heads. Lin Xian had become even more terrifying. Lin Xian was like a completely different person compared to during the dragon transformation trial. The first emissary would soon regret this. In the face of such a peerless attack, Lin Xian did not dodge at all. He just stood there quietly. Clang! The attack landed on his body. That's great. I hit him. Go to hell, brat. The first emissary smiled, sinisterly. Chapter 55:32. A peerless attack. Heaven and earth shattered as the first emissary laughed heartily. It was as if he had seen victory. However, when he saw the silhouette that appeared from the cracks in the sky, he was completely stunned. Not dead. His opponent was actually unscathed. How was that impossible? His attack was so terrifying. Furthermore, his strength was different from before. How could his opponent block it? Was this his current strength? An all-out attack? Lin Xian laughed. How many years had it been since you knew about the outside world? Could it be that you don't understand my strength now? The first emissary frowned when he heard this. He said, What strength are you? Aren't you the champion of the dragon transformation trial? Ha 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 ha! What an idiot! The divine union members behind him laughed when they heard this. The toad snorted coldly. Trash, you are really stupid. Don't you know that Lin Xian is already the Triple Crown champion? What? Triple Crown champion? The first emissary was shocked and stunned. The Crimson Dragon sneered. Not only that, but Lin Xian had just defeated a Triple Crown champion. How do you think you compare to the Triple Crown champion? Impossible. This is impossible. Don't try to lie to me. Do you think you can scare me with your lies? The first emissary roared, crazily. His strength had increased, but he still wasn't the Triple Crown champion. In fact, he was still a distance away from the Triple Crown champion. After all, what kind of existence was the Triple Crown champion? How many days had it been? Lin Wuyi had already become the Triple Crown champion. What a joke! I don't believe it! He roared angrily and attacked again. The resplendent light made the world lose its luster. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. Stupid thing, I'll let you have a taste of my strength. As he spoke, he threw out a punch. With a boom, the spear was sent flying, and the first emissary retreated. His hand split open and turned into a bloody mist. The pain almost made him faint. What kind of power was this? It made him feel despair. Did he feel it? This was the power of the Triple Crown champion. Lin Xian's body swayed. He threw out the demon god palm and smashed the first emissary into pieces. The first emissary was frightened to tears. How could he be so strong? No. Previously, he was still full of confidence to challenge the other party. He was simply courting death. Therefore, he quickly turned around and fled. The indestructible power restored his body, and at the same time, he fled towards the first chariot. He wanted to borrow the power of the human sovereign. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a slash of his sword, He slashed apart the heavens and earth, stopping his opponent. Trying to escape? Didn't he say he wanted to fight one-on-one? Why did he need to borrow Jizun's power now? I won't give you a chance. Damn you, Lin Wuti, get out of my way. The first emissary unleashed all of his strength and struck forward. However, when it hit Lin Xian's body, it didn't even leave a scratch. This was absolute suppression. The first emissary roared madly as he quickly retreated. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. He unleashed a Tai Chi diagram, which enveloped the other party. The yin-yang sword Qi pierced through his opponent. Then Lin Xian said, "There's no challenge at all. Rosalong, Toad, come at me. Teach him a good lesson. Is that okay?" The Toad was still worried. Although he was hooting outside, he was still the first emissary, a terrifying double champion. However, Lin Xian sneered. "Don't worry, I'm sealing him now. He's no different from an ant." He waved his hand, and a few streaks of sword Qi entered the other party's body, causing him to be extremely miserable. "Brothers, follow me." Seeing this, the Toad jumped out immediately. The Crimson Dragon and the other members of the Divine Union also rushed out. They began to beat up the first emissary. The first emissary was miserable. Now, these people didn't kill him. Instead, they beat him up. Moreover, he had an indestructible aura. When his power was broken, he could quickly recover. This feeling of hovering between life and death was unbearable. Below, the members of the Phoenix race were stunned when they saw this. Was it really okay? "Lin Gongzi, we also want to join the battle," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Come on, attack as much as you can. Don't hold back." Yes, the members of the Phoenix race soared into the sky and joined the battle. Previously, the first emissary was extremely arrogant and threatened to destroy the Phoenix race. Now that there was a chance, they naturally wouldn't hold back. Countless figures were beating up the first emissary. Between heaven and earth, screams could be heard as blood dyed the 9 heavens red. The scene here immediately attracted the attention of the other clans and sections. When they saw this scene, they were dumbfounded. Oh my God, that was the first emissary of Mount Eternal, right? The legendary supreme existence was now in such a miserable state. It seemed that they couldn't offend Lin Wuti. Otherwise, they wouldn't even know how they died. Everyone shook their heads and sighed. On this side, they continued to beat up. On the other side, above the Demon Sea, Huang Qing's expression had also become extremely ugly, because the Emperor race had already begun to move. At first, after Lin Xian left, the Emperor race people were still worried. However, after waiting for a long time, the Phoenix race discovered that no one on their side had died. They heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that Lin Xian had already blocked the attack of Mount Eternal. In that case, they wouldn't be polite. Everyone break the void. Although they would be teleported away, Lin Xian had bought them time. Therefore, the Phoenix race took the lead. The extreme weapon transformed into an ancient phoenix that swept across heaven and earth, bringing them to break the void and leave. Damn it, the void formation turned into a large crack and teleported them away. However, it couldn't kill them. Next, the Gu race, the Qilin race, the Yi race, and the others all moved. Those clan of the ancients didn't have extreme weapons, but they were disciples of the Emperor race. They could use the power of the Emperor race to leave. For a time, the figures on the entire island became fewer and fewer. In the end, only Huang Qing and the immortal princess were left. Their faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. Damn it, Huang Qing roared. This time, he had failed. After returning, he would definitely be punished. However, he couldn't believe it. Before coming, he had already calculated everything. It was absolutely foolproof. However, Lin Xian had defeated him from the beginning to the end. His killing intent towards Lin Xian was as deep as the universe. Damn it, let's go. The void formation was useless. Huang Qing and the immortal princess soared into the sky. They also killed their way out, taking advantage of the fact that the emperor race hadn't returned. They might even be able to destroy one or two of them. The immortal princess face turned cold. She said to check on the first emissary first. Damn it, this guy has the power of a supreme being. Could it be that he couldn't fight back? She couldn't believe it. That was a supreme being. Therefore, she rushed towards the Phoenix race. When he arrived and saw the scene, he was also stunned. This was because they saw countless people from the Divine Union and the Phoenix race beating up a figure. That figure was shattered thousands of times, but he was still alive. However, his miserable appearance made one's scalp tingle. That was the first emissary. The immortal princess was stunned. This idiot. Why didn't he use the power of a supreme being? Huang Qing was also crazy. Was this guy the one who ruined their plan? He couldn't wait to kick the first emissary to death. Chapter 55:33. Quick, save me. The first emissary was in despair. The feeling of being beaten really made him want to die. When he saw the immortal princess and Huang Qing, he hurriedly asked for help. The others also saw them and quickly retreated. They waved their hands, and the Divine Union and Phoenix clan members quickly retreated. They all hid behind the extreme weapons. Kid, it's up to you, Toad shouted. Lin Xian also turned around. She smiled and said, You guys are here. It seemed that the great families had already left. How was it? How did it feel to lose? Huang Qing was trembling with anger. Kid, don't be so arrogant. One day, I'll make you wish you were dead. Ha ha. Lin Xian laughed. One day? Why don't I send you to hell now? Lin Xian walked forward. Then he split the first emissary apart with sword energy. The immortal princess shouted angrily, How dare you? He wanted to come over and help, but the green lotus bloomed in the sky, and the desolate tower suppressed him. The immortal princess couldn't resist. Huang Qing, who was beside her, also took out the mortal decree to resist. However, Lin Xian had enough extreme weapons. Huang Qing and the others were also forced back. They could only watch as the first emissary was split apart. Then, Lin Xian used the power of the great dragon sword soul to crush the first emissary's indestructible power. In the end, the first emissary disappeared. He couldn't believe it until he died. He couldn't believe that he had been defeated so miserably after his strength had increased. He was actually dead. Huang Qing frowned. The immortal princess expression was also very cold. You killed him. You're dead. Our Mount Eternal will never let you go. As he spoke, he came to the war chariot. He wanted to control the power of the human supremes. Lin Xian sneered. The power of 2 human supremes. We have 3 extreme weapons. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you to the end. Moreover, it wouldn't be long before those great emperor clans returned. At that time, the power of those extreme weapons would come out. Even if you have supreme weapons, I'm afraid your soul will be destroyed. Lin Xian said with a smile. Huang Qing gritted his teeth. The other party was right. Just you wait. This matter won't end like this. Huang Qing left. The immortal princess also gritted her teeth, waiting for the wrath of Mount Eternal. The 2 of them left. The people of the Phoenix clan heaved a sigh of relief. They had finally left. The members of the Divine Union also relaxed and smiled. This was great. So what if he had the strength of a supreme being? Weren't they still beaten away by them? After this matter spread out, the entire buried Emperor's star was shocked. Lin Wuti had once again created a miracle. He was the sovereign of the human realm. More than 100,000 years ago, he could even fight against a great emperor who would be able to match such power. Even those great emperor clans would have to lower their heads. Sure enough, when they heard about what happened on Bones Island, they all went crazy. Those great emperor clans were in despair. However, Lin Xian had broken out of this predicament. The other party had actually charged out. He had saved the great emperor's clan. They even defeated the Forbidden Lands. It was truly inconceivable. Someone exclaimed, Lin Wuyi was truly a rare genius. He would definitely become a great emperor. Some people shook their heads. No, they didn't understand the strength of a sovereign of the human realm. Back then, they were existences that had started a dark war. Even great emperors had suffered losses at their hands. One could imagine how terrifying they were when they were angered. Had Lin Wuyi provoked such an existence? Following this, his fate would be extremely miserable. All sorts of discussions could be heard. Lin Xian and the others also returned. During this period, the Crimson Dragon had set up arrays near the various great emperor clans to investigate. Once the people of the Forbidden Lands of Death appeared, they would immediately take action. However, during this period, Huangling and Mount Eternal didn't seem to attack. It was obvious that they were preparing for something. On the other hand, the great emperor clans returned one after another. They had broken through the void and returned from the universe. After returning, they returned to their clans. When they saw that their clans were safe and sound, they heaved a sigh of relief. Let's go to the Divine Union and thank Lin Gongzi. This time, they had to thank Lin Xian. Otherwise, they would have had to hand over half of their clan's resources. From then on, they would have to bow their heads to the Forbidden Lands and never raise their heads again. This wasn't just a loss to their clan, but also a shame to their ancestors. Therefore, Lin Xian had preserved the glory and face of their great emperor clans. They naturally had to thank him. This day was an unparalleled day on the buried Emperor's star. This was because nothing like this had ever happened before. Great emperor clans, remote antiquity clans, unparalleled great sects. These overlords were supreme existences in the universe. Now, they had all gathered together and came to the Divine Union with great respect. The Yi family's patriarch, Yi Wudao, had come personally with 1/5 of the family's strength. The Yi family thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. The Yi family's patriarch bowed deeply and offered 1/5 of the family's strength. At this moment, the crowd was in an uproar. The Phoenix clan thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. The Qilin clan thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. The Gu clan thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. The Kuanpeng clan thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. The Golden Crow clan thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. The Skyblade sect thanked Lin Gongzi for saving their lives. Voices rang out one after another, echoing throughout the 9 heavens. At this moment, the universe was shaken. All the great emperor clans were bowing and thanking a young man. This was probably something that had never happened since the creation of the universe. Even the great emperors of the past were only at this level. Lin Xian wasn't a great emperor yet. He wasn't even a quasi-emperor yet. Yet, he had managed to do this. How could this not shock everyone? At this moment, the buried Emperor's star was in an uproar. The Divine Union was in an uproar. They were really too excited. This was especially so when they heard that so many great emperor clans had sent their resources and strength to Luo Yunyang. This made them go crazy. This kind of strength had probably surpassed the total strength of an entire great emperor clan. Now, they were going to give it to Lin Xian. At this moment, even the eyes of the various realms turned red. However, they didn't dare to make a move. Who would dare to provoke the divine energy now? Lin Xian kept all these resources. He took out some of them and left them in the Divine Union. After all, the Divine Union also needed to develop. These people also needed to cultivate. As for the rest, Lin Xian sent all of them into the sword world. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder and lightning formed a storm of energy in the sword world. The entire world seemed to be shaking. In the Four-Spirit Valley, the four great spiritual beasts felt this energy and prostrated themselves on the ground. Oh my God, what kind of energy was this? What did that kid do outside? He couldn't have robbed an emperor's clan, right? Too much energy. They were so excited that they were trembling. The spiritual herbs in the Four-Spirit Valley also shook violently. They grew rapidly. That heaven-reaching ancient tree was originally withered and withered. However, under this power, it actually started to grow green leaves. The sacred spring of life was boiling nonstop. Everything had changed. Chapter 55:34. Within the sword world, a violent explosion occurred. Even the remnant soul of the Hellfire Dragon was alarmed. He woke up from his slumber and soared into the sky. F***CK. Heavens, what kind of power is this? Is this kid crazy? At the same time, DeLong also said, sending this power into the depths of the sword world, allowing it to split, open the heavens and earth. Lin Xian nodded, controlling this power. He flew into the depths of the sword world. The sword world was very big, but Lin Xian had only opened up a little. Most of the places were desolate and barren. No one dared to enter. It was a withered power, and now that there was a new power, it might be able to change that place. This power surged into the surroundings. The remnant soul of the Hellfire Dragon also flew back. He arrived near the Four-Spirit Valley. Oh my God, this is incredible. I wonder what will happen next. He was also looking forward to it. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He did not enter now. He had to wait for this power to change the sword world. With power, what the sword world needed was time. Lin Xian retreated. In the next few days, he began to cultivate and recover, and then prepared to head to the Demon Sea again. Previously, Lin Xian had killed the Sea Demon Royal Highness in the Demon Sea. He did not care about such an ant, but the other party had hit out a fragment in the end. That fragment had actually split open the old Qilin's palm. More importantly, Lin Xian felt the blood of the Demon Emperor on that fragment. Obviously, this thing was related to the Demon Emperor. It was very likely that it was the weapon of the Demon Emperor. Therefore, Lin Xian had to go and investigate now. The entire Demon Sea seemed to be related to the Demon Emperor, and Lin Xian cultivated the inheritance of the Demon Emperor. How could he miss it? The divine union was jubilant. These days, countless families and sects had come to pay their respects. There were even people from other worlds in the universe who had come because of the fame. They all came to pay their respects. It could be said that the current divine union was an unparalleled existence in the entire universe. As for the development of the divine union, Lin Xian left it to Bai Susu and the others. He did not have to worry at all. He also left behind enough resources. As expected, Bai Susu and the others were also growing stronger at a steady pace. Even Morong Qingcheng and Yen Ryu had improved a lot. Both of them were double champions. It would be extremely difficult for them to improve further. However, under the power from before, the two of them had rapidly improved. This time, the two beautiful fairies grinned, too. When they heard that Lin Xian wanted to go to the Devil's Sea, the two of them wanted to go. Lin said with a smile, "The two of you are still in the process of increasing your strength, so stay here and cultivate in seclusion for now. Furthermore, I have no problem making a trip to the Demon Sea." Lin Xian took the heaven-devouring jar away. The two of them were not worried at all. There were very few people who could hurt Lin Xian at this point in time. However, Morong Qingcheng still said, "Brother Xian, be careful. They won't let this matter rest." Lin Xian expressed that he understood. Then he soared into the sky and headed towards the Devil's Sea. Not long after he left, a piece of news came from the Desolate Tomb. Lin Wuti had challenged the Desolate Tomb. The Desolate Tomb had issued a kill order. The news instantly spread all over the world. The entire buried Emperor Star was in an uproar once again. Sure enough, they made a move. The Desolate Tomb wanted to attack Lin Wuti. The people of the Divine Union were also nervous. Yenryu said, Brother Xian had the great dragon sword soul and the heaven-devouring jar. He should have no problem protecting himself. The people of the Divine Union heaved a sigh of relief when they heard that Lin Xian had an extreme grade weapon with him. However, at this time, Mount Eternal also issued a kill order to pursue Lin Xian. Everyone was shocked. 2 forbidden lands of death were pursuing a young man at the same time. This was probably the first time this had happened. After the Z Mansion received the news, they were also excited. This Lin Wuti was courting death. He had offended the forbidden lands of death. They hoped that they could kill him this time. They wondered if the forbidden lands of death would send out a quasi-emperor this time. This was because it was really difficult for ordinary people to kill Lin Xian. They might not even be able to injure him. The forbidden lands of death's inheritance was even older than the Z Mansion. Their methods were definitely heaven-defying. Just wait. Lin Wuti would be unlucky. In the Desolate Tomb, 8 ancient coffins flew out. They were ancient and exuded a desolate aura. They were abnormally ancient. They broke out of the ground and flew into the sky. Then they quickly probed and emitted light. A low voice came from one of the ancient coffins. It sensed his aura and walked in the demonic sea. The 8 ancient coffins shattered one after another and flew towards the demonic sea. At the same time, in the forbidden lands of death of Mount Eternal, a tall figure walked out. This person's body was pitch black, as if he was made of black gold. He was tall like a demon king. The moment he appeared, he looked disdainfully at the world. Then he soared into the sky and flew up into the clouds. His appearance caused some of the experts and saints near Mount Eternal to kneel down on the ground. After the other party left, for a long time, those saints stood up one after another. Their faces were pale. Why did they feel a trace of Emperor's aura? The demonic sea, the dark sea seemed to contain endless secrets. And now, above the demonic sea, a young figure descended. Lin Xian stepped on the sea and looked around. Now that His Highness the Sea Demon was dead, he could only look for the Sea Demon clan. He hoped that the Sea Demon clan would know some information. Otherwise, it would be like looking for a needle in a haystack for him to find information about the Demon Emperor. After all, this demonic sea was too mysterious. His soul couldn't completely see through it at a glance. At the same time, he was also curious about what kind of existence could actually fight the Demon Emperor and even injure the Demon Emperor. It even formed this demonic sea. His figure flickered, and he walked on the sea. He opened his Rinnegan and began to search. On this day, Lin Xian caught a sea demon. It was an octopus. Its body was like a huge mountain, and its tentacles were even more terrifying. Like a giant serpent, it wrapped around Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian's body gently rubbed against it, and the octopus vomited blood and flew upside down. Its body split open. The octopus was scared. This young man turned out to be a peerless master. She wanted to escape, but she was slapped into the sea by Lin Xian. "Lord, please spare my life." The octopus kept begging for mercy. "Take me to the Sea Demon clan, and I will spare your life." Lin Xian said. The octopus was surprised. The Sea Demon clan was the king of this sea, who dared to provoke them. However, the young man in front of her seemed to be even more terrifying. She didn't dare to resist. She said, "Okay, I'll take you there." She had just moved, but Lin Xian was stunned. He stopped and turned his head to look back. The void in the distance was broken, and 8 big cracks were torn open in the sky as if it was connected to hell. The terrifying aura made the octopus almost faint. Lin Xian also frowned tightly. What a terrifying aura! A strong enemy was coming. Chapter 55:35. The void in the distance broke open, and 8 rays of light appeared. In an instant, they arrived above the demon sea and confronted Lin Xian. The giant octopus under Lin Xian's feet was already kneeling on the ground, unable to move at all. Lin Xian snorted coldly, waved his sleeve, and hit the giant octopus to the bottom of the sea. "Leave first." The octopus quickly turned into a stream of light and fled. At the same time, he was shocked. Why isn't this kid running? This time, he was dead meat. In his opinion, Lin Xian couldn't survive against such a terrifying enemy. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the sky. He narrowed his eyes. There were 8 ancient coffins in the sky, floating and emitting a cold aura. Lin Xian knew the desolate aura on them. They were from the barren hills. Are they finally here for revenge? Is Huang Qing here? Tell him to come out. The 8 ancient coffins in the sky didn't answer Lin Xian at all. Instead, they asked coldly, "Are you Lin Wudi? The target has been found. Who's going to deal with it?" Among them, an ancient coffin shook gently, and a sneer came from inside. "I'll do it." Then the ancient coffin rushed down, as if it had turned into a mountain, and charged towards Lin Xian. The demon sea was instantly shattered, and no one could resist the terrifying power. With a clang, Lin Xian threw a punch at the other party. The two collided with an earth-shaking sound, and the stars in the sky shook. At this moment, the entire demon sea was rolling. In the demon sea, countless monsters all fled. After that attack, Lin Xian withdrew his fist. The ancient coffin was blasted away and fell into the sea. Lin Xian frowned because he could feel that the ancient coffin was not broken. The origin of these ancient coffins was really extraordinary. With his current strength, a punch could shatter a world. However, this ancient coffin was not broken. Boom! The ancient coffin that was sent flying rose into the air and flew over again. It shook violently, and a biting cold murderous intent came from inside. "Damn kid, how dare you resist? It seems there's no need for you to live." As he spoke, the ancient coffin emitted a rumbling sound. Immediately after, a pale hand could be seen. The ancient coffin opened, and a figure walked out. After Lin Xian finished reading, his brows knitted together tightly, because this person was really too strange. He was wearing an ancient robe that was tens of thousands of years old. However, it was not complete. There were many places on it that were badly damaged. It wasn't just his clothes. His entire body was in tatters. White bones could be seen in many parts of his body, even where there was still flesh and blood. It was filled with a monstrous aura of death. This person seemed to have crawled out of hell, which greatly surprised Lin Xian. What kind of place was the barren tomb? Could it really be a mausoleum? Had countless experts been buried? But why didn't these people die? Why didn't he enter the cycle of reincarnation? How could he still be alive? Lin Xian was too surprised. The man who walked out sneered. Half of his body was made of white bones, while the other half was made of flesh and blood. It was very strange. It made one's scalp tingle at a glance. His eyes were like blades as he stared at Lin Xian. "I'll let you know what regret and despair are." Lin Xian laughed. "A monster like you dares to be arrogant in front of me? You're courting death." The pupils of the ancient powerhouse who came out on the other side constricted. Monster! He hated it the most when people called him a monster. Therefore, he slammed his palm over. His 5 fingers seemed to have turned into 5 swords that pierced through the 9 heavens and charged towards Lin Xian. Boom! Lin Xian pushed his hand and struck out a Tai Chi diagram to block the sharp claws. At the same time, he laughed. Why are you angry from embarrassment? Look at yourself. If you're not a monster, then what are you? He stomped his foot, and monstrous seawater soared into the sky, turning into a demonic mirror. It directly shone on the other party. The other party's appearance appeared in the demonic mirror. As expected, he was more terrifying than a monster. The ancient figure roared at the sky, shattering the 9 heavens and collapsing the demonic realm. Young man, you're playing with fire. I'll let you know the consequences of living a life worse than death. He stomped his foot and instantly rushed over. His left palm had already turned into white bones. When he slashed out with his palm, it was like a bone blade. However, it was powerful to the extreme and carried a power that made one's hair stand on end. Lin Xian was surprised. This person was so terrifying. Even the double-crowned king probably couldn't block this attack. However, the current Lin Xian could even kill the triple-crowned king. So, what if he was an ancient monster? He formed a seal with his palm, the demon god seal. He slapped out with his palm, carrying a powerful pressure, and directly blasted at the other party's sharp claws. With a bang, the demonic sea was torn into 2 halves. The ancient monster was sent flying. The laws of light on his body dimmed. Lin Xian snorted coldly. No matter who you are, you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. He stomped his foot and soared into the sky. A war map appeared in his hand. The heavens war map. His battle intent pierced through the sky and directly sent the ancient monster flying. The ancient monster was sent flying millions of miles away, shattering the void. You want to kill me? You're not qualified. Come at me together. Lin Xian pointed his sword at the sky. His eyes were filled with piercingly cold sword intent. Damn it! The ancient monster flew out, but he didn't attack rashly, because he could also feel how terrifying the young man in front of him was. At this moment, another ancient coffin appeared in the sky. It shook and laughed. Old 8, you're really trash. The voice was like a wind chime, very pleasant to the ears. It was actually a woman. Hearing this, the ancient monster shouted coldly, What do you know? According to my estimation, he should be a triple-crown king. I didn't expect such a person to appear in this era. I'm not his match alone. Let's attack together. Triple-crown king? Then let me do it. Another ancient coffin in the sky opened, and a pair of jade-like hands appeared. Immediately after, a jade beauty appeared in the void. She was wearing a black dress. Her appearance was indeed beautiful, and it wasn't damaged. However, Lin Xian could tell that only the upper half of the man's body was intact. The legs under the long robe had long been reduced to white bones. She was also a monster. It was just another skeleton. Lin Xian looked at her and sneered. The woman in black was instantly furious. She shouted and slapped out with her jade-like palm, carrying endless power. Lin Xian rushed forward in an instant and exchanged a punch with his opponent. His fist was like the sun, shining in all directions and blocking her fist. At the same time, the firmament battle map swept over again. The woman in black naturally knew how powerful it was and didn't dare to take it head-on. She turned into a stream of light to dodge and said at the same time, Old 8, aren't you going to attack? In addition, the half-skeleton monster from before also rushed over. Life chant. He roared and raised his hands into the sky. The entire sky seemed to have been refined by him as he charged towards Lin Xian. The demonic sea below instantly shattered. Feeling the endless pressure, even Lin Xian frowned. He snorted coldly. 6 paths of reincarnation. Chapter 55-36. The refined firmament was broken open. A heavenly hand reached out and attacked half of the skeleton. At the same time, the phantoms of 6 worlds appeared and shrouded the 2 ancient powerhouses. Lin Xian's voice was cold. He was like a god, as he said loudly, "The 2 of you are full of death, Thora. You don't belong to this world anymore. You shouldn't have appeared. Reincarnate." Lin Xian's Rinnegan bloomed with a terrifying light, and the power of reincarnation emerged. Feeling this power, the 2 ancient powerhouses' expressions instantly changed. No, damn it. They turned around and fled, wanting to enter the ancient coffins. The phantoms of 6 worlds kept crushing. The power of reincarnation was the nemesis of these people. Sure enough, the death aura on the half-skeleton man's body erupted. The other half of his body also turned into a skeleton and instantly turned into powder. It vanished into thin air. The woman in black ran faster. She arrived near the ancient coffin. Her upper body had already entered the ancient coffin, but her legs hadn't. Under the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation, they no longer existed. The woman in black let out a terrified cry. At the same time, the other bone coffins also shook violently. Damn it. The power of reincarnation. You actually have such power. Kill him. Don't allow this power to appear. The 6 ancient coffins rushed over quickly, as if they wanted to resist the 6 paths of reincarnation. An earth-shattering sound rang out. The 2 collided, and the sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. It was really too terrifying. The 6 paths of reincarnation seemed to have been shattered, and the light on the 6 ancient coffins also dimmed. Lin Xian sneered. His Rinnegan bloomed, and a biting cold light stared at the other party. "My guess was right. You don't belong to this world. You've already violated the great Tao of heaven and earth by being alive. Now get lost obediently. Do you want us to send you into reincarnation?" Lin Xian's voice was sonorous, causing the void to tremble. Damn it. The woman in black gritted her teeth. She was seriously injured. The other ancient coffins had gloomy expressions. They didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, one was seriously injured and the other died. The leader was an old man. His voice was incomparably old. "Everyone, let's attack together." As soon as he finished speaking, the 6 ancient coffins slowly opened, and one figure after another emerged from within. These people stood in the ancient coffins and did not come out. Clearly, they were wary of Lin Xian's 6 paths of reincarnation. This ancient coffin was exceptionally mysterious, and it seemed to be the reason why they were able to survive until now. This ancient coffin could also withstand the 6 paths of reincarnation. They dared to fight Lin Xian just by standing inside the coffin. "Brat, I hate those eyes of yours. I'm going to kill you. Rinnegan." This kind of power should not have appeared. The leader of the 6 newcomers was indeed an old man with a tall stature. The others also had different figures, but a part of their bodies had turned into white bones. The death chi was extremely terrifying. "Kill." With an angry shout, 6 people rushed over. At the same time, the black-clothed woman from before also charged over. The 7 of them charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian also shouted angrily. The Rinnegan bloomed, and a reincarnation gaze appeared in the sky, looking down. It caused the 7 people's bodies to sway. However, the ancient coffins beside them also emitted a mysterious power to resist. It blocked the power of reincarnation. The 7 people became even more furious. They attacked mercilessly. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. He once again unleashed the heavens of the heavens battle diagram. A square formation diagram was enlarged and swept across the area, blocking the 2 ancient coffins. At the same time, the yin-yang diagram also flew out. The yin-yang diagram kept spinning in the sky, and it also carried an extremely strong death chi. This death chi turned into a terrifying torrent and charged towards the other party. It wanted to trigger the death chi in the other party's body. Everyone, be careful. The old man in the lead shouted angrily and struck out with his sword. This sword carried an extremely strong spatial power. Behind him was another man. That man shouted angrily. Countless phantoms appeared around him, as if he had opened the gates of hell, resisting the death chi. The next few people used their own methods. While blocking the yin-yang diagram, they charged towards Lin Xian. Kid, go to hell. Lin Xian was surrounded by these 7 people. It seemed very dangerous, but he was still not afraid. He sneered. 9 suns, sky splitting. On his body, the divine fire danced. A divine fire mark appeared between his brows. It turned into the phantoms of 9 suns and swept in all directions. As his fists danced, the entire world was illuminated. At this moment, the divine fire soared into the sky and swept across the 9 heavens. The 7 ancient coffins were knocked back. Their faces became extremely pale. There was even a trace of fear in their eyes. What a terrifying flame power. Who was this kid? They were too shocked. No wonder he dared to fight against the barren ridge. Lin Xian stretched out 2 fingers and pointed forward. A ball of divine fire flew into the distance towards the injured woman in black. The woman in black roared angrily and shot out millions of skeletons. However, it was useless. The ball of sacred fire danced and enveloped the opponent. The black-clothed woman let out a blood-curdling scream before disappearing into thin air. Another one died. The remaining 6 people's pupils constricted. Everyone, be careful of this flame. Enter the demon sea and attack him from below. Lin Xian not only had the fire of 9 suns now, but also the power of the divine fire. It was too strong. These people could not stop him. Therefore, the 6 of them were very decisive. They rode the ancient coffins into the demon sea. They attacked from below the demon sea. This demon sea was related to the demon emperor and had an extremely strong demonic chi. No matter how strong the kids' flames were, they would dissipate in the demon sea. Look at me. There was a woman among the 6. This woman was relatively thin, and she actually grew a tail. Like the tail of a dead python, it rushed out of the demon sea and swept towards the clouds. It enveloped Lin Xian and pulled him down. With a boom, Lin Xian entered the demon sea. Great. It worked. The thin woman was happy. The other 6 people also smiled. With the power of the demon sea, they could definitely suppress the other party's flames. Kid, without the power of the flames, let's see how you can compete with us. The 6 of them once again unleashed their powerful divine ability laws. Lin Xian's expression was incomparably strange. These people wanted to compete with him in the demon sea? These people thought that the power of the demon sea could suppress him? What a joke. The demon sea was related to the demon emperor, and he cultivated the demon emperor ancient scripture. In the demon sea, his demonic chi was even more terrifying. In the next moment, he put away the flames on his body. The 6 people opposite him did not know. They thought that Lin Xian was afraid, so they sneered. Kid, how is it? Are you afraid? If you are, kneel down and come back with us. If you dare to challenge the desolate tomb, we won't let you off. However, if you don't resist, we can let you die easily. Hearing this, Lin Xian shook his head. You think too much. I'm just letting you see the demon emperor's power. Chapter 55:37. The demon emperor's supernatural power. When they heard this, the 6 of them were stunned for a moment. In the next moment, they saw that Lin Xian's body was no longer covered in terrifying flames. Instead, it turned into pitch-black devil energy that spread in all directions. At the same time, the entire demon sea seemed to have been mobilized by him. Lin Xian took out the Great Destruction Spear and charged forward. In an instant, a person was pierced through, screams were heard, and the faces of the 5 people around also changed drastically. What a terrifying devil energy. Damn it, he's a demonic cultivator. Quick, let's kill him together. The 5 of them didn't dare to hold back anymore. Demonic cultivators in the demon sea would have such a terrifying increase in strength. They had to make a move now and end the battle quickly. The 6 of them fought and besieged Lin Xian. They wanted to suppress him. However, they couldn't do it. Lin Xian was really too powerful. His strength was already unparalleled. In this demon sea, he could even mobilize the power of the demon sea. At this moment, Lin Xian seemed to have transformed into a demon god. All kinds of demon emperors' unique skills emerged one after another. Demon god seal, demon god fist, demon god net, demon overture. In addition, the Great Destruction Spear swept across all directions. One person's body was pierced through, and the other person's body had countless cracks. That person was killed by the demon overture. There were also a few people who were injured. Another person was even more miserable. He was directly knocked out of the ancient coffin and was killed by Lin Xian's Rinnegan. Damn it, another one died. The remaining 5 people roared crazily. They didn't expect that even with the absolute advantage, they couldn't do anything to the other party. Had this person already defied the heavens to such an extent? Lin Xian snorted coldly. He made a move again. The Great Destruction Spear seemed to have turned into a black dragon. Every time they collided, the ancient coffin would shake violently. The surrounding people gritted their teeth and grabbed the ancient coffin tightly. If they fell out, their fate would be very miserable. Damn it! The roar of desolation. The old man in the lead roared towards the sky. His voice swept through the surroundings. It blotted out the sky and covered the earth to resist Lin Xian. At the same time, the other woman also formed a seal. Spirit of ice. The entire demon sea was sealed in ice. Lin Xian's speed also slowed down, and an endless amount of frost appeared on his body. In an instant, he was frozen. Great, the sword of death. Seeing this, a man soared into the sky and charged over. A sword of death appeared in his hand, and he slashed down from the sky. He swung his sword at Lin Xian. However, divine flames suddenly erupted from Lin Xian's body, melting the ice. At the same time, he used his fingers like a sword and slashed out. Azura sword skill, peerless killing intent. The sword slashed open the man's forehead. The man fell to the ground and was instantly killed. The surrounding people became even crazier. Another one had fallen. They attacked in a frenzy. This time, they even activated the ancient coffin. The ancient coffin rushed towards Lin Xian with a terrifying attack, hitting Lin Xian. It shook Lin Xian so much that his qi and blood were roiling. He had to admit that these ancient coffins were really too mysterious. He roared at the sky. Endless demonic energy condensed behind him, and a phantom of the demon emperor appeared. As soon as the phantom appeared, the entire world shattered, and the demon sea also condensed crazily. Damn it, this was the demon emperor's aura. He cultivated the demon emperor's inheritance. At this moment, the 4 people who were still alive finally went crazy. They now understood why they couldn't defeat their opponent. The demon sea was related to the demon emperor, and their opponent was the demon emperor's successor. They were definitely not a match for him here. Run. The 4 of them turned around and ran. However, the phantom behind Lin Xian stretched out its palm and grabbed forward. Suddenly, the entire demonic sea was condensed, and a formless spatial pressure swept out in front of them. The 4 ancient coffins in front of them let out a violent roar. The four ancient powerhouses inside were so shocked that they spat out mouthfuls of blood. Their eyes were red. Damn it. Were they going to die here? One had to know that they weren't from this era. They were existences from tens of thousands of years ago, or even longer. They had relied on the power of the ancient coffins in the barren mountain to survive until now. It was all for the hope of becoming an emperor in this era. Recently, the barren mountain broke through the seal and broke out of the ground, allowing them to see hope. They knew that there would be a great opportunity waiting for them. As long as they waited until that moment, they would recover. However, now, before they could wait, were they going to die in advance? No, I can't accept this. The old man in the lead roared at the sky. Endless great Tao appeared on his body, constantly intertwining. The other people also used all their strength to resist. However, Lin Xian's side was even more terrifying. This time, the demon emperor phantom behind him locked onto one of them and charged forward. The ancient coffin shook, directly blasting the person inside out. The bright woman screamed, "Save me!" The great Tao on his body continued to shatter, and his body turned into a bloody mist and disappeared. Was another one dead? The remaining three people's eyes were filled with despair. It probably wouldn't be long before it would be them, because they realized that Lin Xian was already walking towards them. With every step Lin Xian took, it was as though he was stepping on their hearts, causing their hearts to beat wildly. The distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. However, at that moment, the demonic sea suddenly broke open and a black stone tablet pressed down from the sky, directly attacking Lin Xian. Lin Xian punched out, and with a bang, the terrifying heavenly tablet was suppressed. His entire body was also pushed back. His arm was numb, and his blood was boiling. His face instantly turned pale. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. What a strong power, completely surpassing the previous people. Who was it? The light of reincarnation in his eyes cut through the void. The people in the barren mountain were also stunned. Was someone coming to save him? In the next moment, they saw a black, heavenly tablet in front of them. It descended from the sky and directly pierced through the demonic sea. At the same time, a figure appeared on the heavenly tablet. It was a tall figure standing there like a giant god. The aura on his body swept in all directions, making their hair stand on end. It was a quasi-emperor. Feeling the aura, the leading old man exclaimed. Lin Xian also frowned. The other party was indeed a quasi-emperor. He didn't expect that after Lord Alcohol and the Chaos quasi-emperor, another quasi-emperor would appear. Lin Xian had seen many quasi-emperors, such as the corpse of the magnetism quasi-emperor, the remnant soul of the 9 heavens quasi-emperor, and the 7th dragon general in the dragon emperor's tomb. These were all quasi-emperors, but they weren't complete. They were either dead or seriously injured. Lin Xian had only seen 2 true quasi-emperors so far. One was Lord Alcohol, and the other was the Chaos quasi-emperor of the Chaos race. These 2 had fought a shocking battle back then, but they had already left. Other than them, no other quasi-emperors appeared in the world. However, he didn't expect that another quasi-emperor would appear now, and it was even chasing after him. Feeling the inextinguishable battle intent from the other party, Lin Xian's face darkened. As expected, Mount Eternal was ruthless enough. They actually sent a quasi-emperor to chase after him. Chapter 55:38. The 3 ancient powerhouses who were still alive in the barren hill were delighted. This time, they had joined forces with Mount Eternal. However, they had come first. The powerhouses from Mount Eternal hadn't arrived yet. They didn't expect that Mount Eternal would send a quasi-emperor. Great, there was hope for them. Senior quasi-emperor, please kill this kid. That's right, kill him to prevent future troubles. Ha ha ha, no matter how strong this kid was, he was definitely no match for a quasi-emperor. They could feel that this was a power that surpassed the Saint Realm. In fact, they couldn't even defeat him with their bare hands. However, no matter how strong he was, there was still a gap between him and a quasi-emperor. After all, a quasi-emperor's power was above everything. Humph, a bunch of trash. The tall figure on the black stone tablet in front of them responded, making the three powerhouses from the barren hill look incomparably ugly. Their strength was extremely terrifying. No one among the sacred lords could compete with them. They could even kill sacred lords like they were crushing ants. So simple, but now someone actually called them trash. However, they didn't dare to get angry because the person who spoke was even more terrifying than them. It was a quasi-emperor, Chao Yu, and the others. Therefore, they could only lower their heads and grit their teeth. Don't worry, although you guys are trash, I'm here. I'll get rid of him. The tall figure looked forward. He stared at Lin Xian and spoke in a deep voice. I'm from Mount Eternal, sent by the immortal sovereign. Remember my name. I'm the Demon Slayer Sovereign. A cold voice rang out, causing the entire demon sea to shake violently. Lin Xian frowned after hearing this. The Demon Slayer Quasi-Emperor was so arrogant. However, do you have the ability to kill me? Lin Xian didn't escape. Instead, he took a step forward. A shocking light appeared in his eyes, and his blood boiled. So what if he was a quasi-emperor? Lin Xian dared to fight him. He was now stronger than Long Mu, but he wasn't a quasi-emperor yet. However, Lin Xian had long wanted to fight with a real quasi-emperor to see how strong he was. What was this kid trying to do? Was he crazy? The three powerhouses from the barren hill were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. They saw that Lin Xian didn't leave. Instead, he wanted to fight? Damn it, what a foolish kid. The leading old man shook his head. The other man also sneered. What an idiot. Does he think that just because he defeated us, he can go against us? Just wait, he will be killed in one move. It would be best if he didn't flee. If he did, he would definitely die. The three of them were not optimistic about Lin Xian at all. Even the Demon Slayer Quasi-Emperor laughed. You dare to fight me? Little ant, who gave you the courage? With a look of disdain, he reached out his hand and grabbed forward. A giant hand tore apart the sea of devils and enveloped Lin Xian. The void around Lin Xian continued to shatter. It contained a trace of Emperor's might and a terrifying, indestructible power. Clearly, the other party was a true quasi-emperor who had condensed an immortal chi seed. The immortal chi seed carried an extremely strong killing intent. Since the other party dared to claim that he was a demon slayer, it meant that he was an extremely powerful fighter. The demonic chi on Lin Xian's body was suppressed, and his brows were tightly furrowed. As expected of a quasi-emperor, he was indeed powerful. But so what? In the next moment, he took out the great spear of destruction. The demonic chi on his body continued to erupt. He struck out with a peerless attack. At this moment, Lin Xian's expression was cold as lightning. Every move he made carried a supreme domineering aura. He pressed forward with indomitable will. Demonic strike, the great spear of destruction flew out, piercing through heaven and earth and colliding with the other party's palm. There was a loud clang. In an instant, the entire demonic sea was torn apart. Endless demonic light appeared on it. This attack actually blocked the quasi-emperor's palm. Behind him, the three ancient powerhouses retreated, their chi and blood surging. However, their eyes were about to pop out. That kid actually blocked it. Impossible! How could he compete with a quasi-emperor? Damn it, how did this kid do it? The three powerhouses were completely dumbfounded. One had to know that a quasi-emperor could probably kill the three of them with a single palm. However, the other party blocked it. The demon slayer quasi-emperor was also stunned, and his brows were tightly furrowed. He was furious that he didn't manage to kill a small ant with one move. How dare you challenge me? Go to hell. In an instant, his palm became terrifying again, as if it had turned into millions of mountains that fell mercilessly. The great spear of destruction shook violently. Lin Xian was also forced back, but in the next moment he formed a seal with his palm. The demonic shadow behind him appeared again, and he struck out the demon god seal to resist. He actually blocked the quasi-emperor's attack again. The demonic shadow appeared and stood above the 9 heavens, causing the demon slayer quasi-emperor to frown. This was the demon emperor's phantom? He also felt a chill down his spine. Lin Xian snorted coldly. How dare you call yourself a demon slayer? Lin Xian charged over with the demon emperor's phantom. Damn it! The demon slayer quasi-emperor roared crazily, and his fist smashed all the demonic chi in the sky. However, at this moment, his soul trembled because he realized that an eye was floating in the sky, and it directly enveloped his soul. At the same time, there was also the aura of reincarnation, as if it wanted to tear his soul apart. Damn it, it's a soul attack. The demon slayer quasi-emperor was furious. He didn't expect this small ant to have so many tricks up his sleeve. Not only did he have the demon emperor's phantom, but he could also use the reincarnation eye technique, causing him to be at a disadvantage. He let out a roar, looking up to the sky. His voice tore the void, and the power of reincarnation was knocked away. In the next moment, a black seed appeared between his brows. It was his immortal chi seed. At this moment, after the explosion of power, everyone felt despair. Even Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together. This true quasi-emperor was really too terrifying, and he still couldn't kill him. More importantly, he still had things to do. If he continued to fight, the demonic sea would shatter. If the demonic sea clan was annihilated in this battle, then he would never be able to find any information about the demon emperor. Therefore, Lin Xian snorted coldly. How dare you disrespect the demon emperor? Today, I'll let you feel the wrath of the demon emperor. Lin Xian activated the demon emperor's phantom behind him, and he actually mobilized the power of the entire demonic sea. Demonic cage, suppress! The demon emperor's phantom behind him also roared into the sky. There was a trace of anger in his voice, and then he slammed his palm forward. The power of the entire demonic sea gathered in his palm, forming a cage. It enveloped the ancient powerhouses and the demon slayer quasi-emperor in front of him. Humph, ants. Do you think the array formation can stop me? The demon slayer quasi-emperor was disdainful, and he slammed his palm forward. However, the cage didn't shatter, which made him frown. The ancient powerhouses behind him also said, "Oh no, he used the power of the entire demonic sea. He escaped." The other woman exclaimed. Lin Xian snorted coldly, turned around, and left. Just now, she did use the demon emperor's phantom to borrow the power of the demonic sea. Although she couldn't completely suppress the other party, she could buy some time for him. If it was a forbidden land, they really wouldn't be able to escape. However, at this time, an old woman quickly said, when His Highness was still alive, he had once explored the Devil's Sea. They went to a magical canyon. It was a canyon at the bottom of the sea, and it was said that His Highness had obtained an incredible opportunity there. It was because of that opportunity that His Highness had broken through to become a crown king. Before His Highness left, he even said that he would explore the canyon at the bottom of the sea again after this gathering. That canyon was obviously a treasure vault, and it was very likely left behind by an ancient expert. Why don't we go there now? Maybe we can avoid this crisis. Hearing this, Many people were delighted. The sea demon patriarch did say that, but I don't know where he is. Do you know? The other elders also shook their heads. His Highness Sea Demon liked to explore the Devil's Sea every day. He had been to too many places. Therefore, they didn't know at all. That old woman said, this was easy to deal with. His little maid should know. Just find him. Soon, a little maid walked over. Her face was pale, and she was incomparably frightened. Greetings, elder. Greetings, patriarch. She didn't know why these people were looking for her. The patriarch asked in a deep voice. The little maid was so frightened that she knelt on the ground. She said, His Highness has been to too many places. I don't know. However, I know that he has been to more than a dozen places recently, but I don't know which one. I need to try. There was no need to be so troublesome. The patriarch walked over and grabbed the little maid's head with one hand. Then he searched her soul. The little maid screamed crazily. Not long after, her body fell down. The sea demon patriarch grabbed a broken soul and said, Let's go. They soared into the air. The entire sea demon clan moved quickly. They were going to the underwater canyon. Even the treasures, formations, weapons, and manuals in the Sea Demon clan were all taken away by them, because after this trip, they didn't know how long it would take for them to come back. It was safer to bring these things with them. The entire Sea Demon clan had become empty. However, there was blood on the ground, and there was also a fallen corpse. It was the little maid's corpse. Not long after the Sea Demon clan's people left, two figures landed. A black shadow landed like a huge monster. It was the big octopus. Standing on his back was Lin Xian. The big octopus said, Young master, the Sea Demon clan has arrived. Lin Xian nodded and walked down from his back. The big octopus didn't dare to say anything. It could only crawl to the side and wait quietly. After Lin Xian arrived, he frowned. He sensed with his soul and found that the entire Sea Demon clan was empty. He snorted coldly. Are you sure you didn't lie to me? Can you sense if there's anyone here? Chapter 5540. When he heard this voice, the big octopus was shocked. Who is it? He exclaimed. It was as if he was facing a great enemy. Lin Xian also frowned. The gaze of reincarnation bloomed in his eyes. In the next moment, he was stunned, and then said, Come out. Endless soul fragments rose into the air and condensed in the air, forming an illusion. It was a woman who looked exactly the same as the little maid who had fallen. You're still alive? The big octopus was shocked. But in the next moment, he sucked in a breath of cold air. What a terrifying resentment. You actually became a vengeful spirit. You know? Lin Xian also looked at her and then said, Tell me about your experience. He felt that it was definitely not a coincidence that she became a vengeful spirit. The little maid told him about what happened before, and then said, I didn't do anything wrong. I even wanted to take the initiative to tell you about those places. But the Sea Demon clan leader didn't give me a chance at all. He directly collected my soul, and he used a demonic technique. After he collected my soul shattered, and I could no longer enter reincarnation. I hate it. I want the Sea Demon clan to be completely destroyed. A hint of killing intent appeared in the little maid's eyes. On the other hand, Lin Xian took a deep breath. He was furious as well. The big octopus beside him said, Damn, I've long heard that the Sea Demon clan is overbearing, but I didn't expect them to be so overbearing. They won't even let off their subordinates? To be honest, he was also angry. Lin Xian said, All right, since they deserve to die, I'll send them on their way. Tell me about that place. The little maid said, I want you to swear. Lin Xian said, There's no need to swear. I'll bring you and let you see it with your own eyes. Moreover, if you really tell me where the Sea Demon Palace went, I'll not only help you take revenge, but I'll also let you enter reincarnation again." Hearing this, the little maid was shocked. "Really?" The big octopus said. "Just believe him. This young master is a very powerful genius." The big octopus was also incomparably impressed now. "Little maid, let's agree. I'll lead the way." Lin Xian's figure flashed and followed. The big octopus also rose into the air. He also followed to watch the show. Beneath the demonic sea, there was a huge crack that formed a canyon at the bottom of the sea. At this moment, a group of people landed in the canyon. The aura of these people was very terrifying. They were from the Sea Demon clan. The patriarch of the demonic Sea Beast clan also frowned when he sensed the aura around him. The next moment he said, "What a terrifying aura." The surrounding elders nodded as well. That's right, this aura was too terrifying. However, they became excited because there was a mysterious and primordial power in it. Clearly, this was an incredible place. If they obtained it, they might have a heaven-defying fortune. Thinking of this, they all laughed proudly. "Great, let's go in." These people took a deep breath and entered the canyon below. Not long after they left, two more figures descended from the sky. Lin Xian looked at the canyon in front of him and said, "Is this the place?" From within his sleeve, the little maid's voice could be heard. "That's right, this is the place." The octopus waved its tentacles and sensed the power around it. He said, reporting to the young master, "It seems that the Sea Demon clan's people have already entered. Go." Lin Xian walked forward. The big octopus said, "The information inside was extremely terrifying. Young master, be careful." Lin Xian said, "It didn't matter." A terrifying sword chi emerged from his body and slashed forward. With the sword, he opened the path. Nothing could stop him. The canyon was very deep. No one knew where it led to, as if it led to hell. At this moment, the faces of the Sea Demon clan's people became extremely ugly, because when they descended halfway, they were attacked. It was an inexplicable attack. This place was extremely terrifying. There was black demonic chi and terrifying demonic blood. One drop was enough to penetrate many of their experts. Many people died, and some were injured. At this moment, they were facing a great enemy. Retreat, retreat quickly. They knew that they came to the right place, but they were too careless. They didn't expect this place to be so terrifying. After leaving some corpses, the others retreated with injuries. They rose into the air, wanted to go out first. Then they prepared well and explored again. The speed at which these people retreated was very fast, but suddenly they stopped. "Who is it? How dare you block our way? Get lost!" An elder roared and slammed his palm towards the 9 heavens. Suddenly, the entire void shattered. This elder was also a divine ancestor. He was very powerful. However, in the face of such a terrifying attack, the figure in front of him slashed out with a sword. This sword light converged into one and directly split the elder into 2 halves. Blood stained the sky. The surrounding people gasped, and the pupils of the Sea Demon clan's patriarch shrank sharply. "Who is it?" They were very scared now because this underwater canyon was very strange. Now that such a mysterious powerhouse had appeared, how could they not be frightened? As they roared, they looked up, but soon they were stunned. An octopus and a young man. They breathed a sigh of relief. Then their faces turned gloomy, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. 2 mere ants dared to compete with them. They really didn't know what was good for them. Originally, they thought that it was an ancient guardian in this canyon. Now it seemed that it wasn't. The Sea Demon clan's patriarch waved his hand, and the powerhouses of the Sea Demon clan rushed over and surrounded Lin Xian and the giant octopus. As soon as they arrived, they sneered. "Boy, How dare you oppose our sea demon clan? Do you want to die? I'll let you know what regret is. The sea demon clan's patriarch roared. The sea demon clan's patriarch also snorted coldly. I'll let you fall into the 18th level of hell. His eyes were filled with extremely cold, killing intent. Sure enough, they were domineering. The giant octopus was also angry. These people are really too arrogant. Lin Xian also sneered. There's no need for the Sea Demon clan to exist anymore. Kneel down, and I'll give you a quick death. As soon as these words came out, the people of the Sea Demon clan laughed. Boy, who do you think you are? You want to challenge our entire clan by yourself? Do you know how strong our Sea Demon clan is? These elders sneered. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, he shot out dozens of sword chi, which turned into giant dragons and flew in all directions. With a rumbling sound, more than a dozen elders were instantly pierced through. They fell from the sky, and their bodies turned into blood mist. The laughter of the people around stopped, and the smiles on everyone's faces froze. Their eyes widened. In the next moment, their expressions became ferocious. Damn it, what's going on? More than a dozen powerhouses were destroyed in an instant. How did this boy do it? Demon King, he's a Demon King. The Sea Demon clan's patriarch's pupils also shrank. Who are you? He didn't believe that the other party was a young man at all. This should be some terrifying old monster. Chapter 5541. May I know who you are? This time, the Sea Demon Patriarch became incomparably respectful because he was really too scared. The other party was too terrifying. With just a few simple moves, he could kill so many experts on their side. He didn't dare to be careless in the slightest. First, I'm not a senior. I'm just a young man. Second, I'm here to destroy your Sea Demon clan. Lin Xian's cold voice came out, making the Sea Demon Patriarch's pupils fiercely shrink. Damn it, did I offend you? He gritted his teeth and said. Lin Xian said, You didn't offend me, but I promise someone else. With that, he waved his embroidered robe, and a ray of light emerged. Then there was a shrill voice. Sea Demon Patriarch, you didn't expect this day to come, right? It's you? After the Sea Demon Patriarch saw the other party, his pupils shrank and his face became gloomy. The faces of the other Sea Demon powerhouses also changed after seeing this. You damn little maid. You dare to turn into a resentful spirit after death and fight against us? Do you think you can really compete with us just because you found a young man? Previously, we were just worried that he was the guardian of this underwater canyon. So, we didn't dare to act rashly. But now it seems that this is not the case at all, so we don't need to hold back. Kill him. Following the order, the Sea Demon clan powerhouses in the surroundings released a power that could topple mountains and overturn seas. One powerful figure after another walked over. So many powerhouses blotted out the sky and covered the earth. The big octopus was also frightened. If it weren't for Lin Xian, he would have turned around and fled. The little maid was also afraid. Although she had turned into a resentful spirit, she was no match for these people at all. But at this time, Lin Xian walked out and snorted coldly. The illusion demon scripture was activated, and a demonic shadow appeared behind him. As soon as the demonic shadow appeared, the entire underwater canyon shook violently. The surrounding demonic chi quickly rolled and condensed under Lin Xian's feet. When the Sea Demon clansmen saw this scene, their pupils shrank sharply. Damn it, what is that? They stared at the demonic sound, and their faces became incomparably ugly, because this demonic shadow made them want to kneel down and worship it. Who are you? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Remember my name. I am Lin Wudi. As he spoke, he formed hand seals with his hands. The demonic shadow behind him roared toward the sky. The demonic world descended. With an angry roar, He mobilized all the demonic chi in the demonic sea and suppressed them. Lin Wuti, it's actually you. When the sea demon patriarch heard this name, his face turned ugly. How could he not know this name? His name was like thunder in Burial Earthstar. The other party was the Triple Crown champion, the champion of the dragon transformation battle, and the descendant of the great dragon. He was a terrifying top-notch genius. He was a popular candidate to become the great emperor. Such a person actually appeared in front of them and even wanted to attack them. How could they possibly resist? One had to know that the Purple Mansion and the Thousand Dragon Court, which had once opposed Lin Wuti, were both very miserable. The Sea Devil Patriarch roared crazily. Run. Run quickly. He was very regretful now. Why didn't you recognize him from the start? Lin Wuti was the only young man in the world with such strength. The others quickly fled frantically, but it was useless. In the sky, a demonic world enveloped them, bringing with it the power of the demonic sea. The power of the demonic emperor phantom behind them also fell mercilessly. In the demonic world, there was endless demonic chi that turned into demonic lightning that penetrated all directions. In an instant, those people kept falling. When the big octopus saw this scene, it was so scared that it crawled on the ground. The other party could control the power of the entire demonic sea. It was really too heaven-defying. At the same time, in another place in the demonic sea, there was also a demonic world cage. There were 4 figures trapped in this cage: a demonic slayer quasi-emperor from Mount Eternal and 3 ancient powerhouses from the desolate spirits. At this moment, they also quickly joined hands and bombarded the demonic ring cage. Finally, they managed to crack the demonic realms cage. Great, it won't be long before the cage shatters. Humph! How dare you use the power of the demonic emperor to trap me? I will make you regret it. Lin Wuti, I won't let you off. The demonic slayer quasi-emperor's voice was cold. As they attacked, more and more cracks appeared on the demonic world cage. It was about to shatter. On the other side, Lin Xian summoned the demonic world again, completely enveloping the demonic sea demon clan. These demonic sea demons were no match at all, and were all suppressed. Many of them died. Looking at this scene, the little maid finally cried. She bowed respectfully to Lin Xian. "Thank you, sir, for helping me fulfill my wish." Lin Xian said, "This is what I promised you. You don't have to thank me. The destination you mentioned is in this canyon?" The little maid nodded. Lin Xian said, "Okay, then I'll send you to reincarnation." The little maid was stunned. Then she said, "Young master, I don't want to reincarnate. I want to follow you." After seeing Lin Xian's power, the little maid was completely shocked at this moment. If she followed such a powerhouse, she would have no regrets in this life. "Follow me?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, but not long after, he nodded. "Okay, then are you willing to become the king of demonic sea demons? From now on, I will let you command the entire demonic sea demon clan." The little maid was stunned. Could it really be done? One must know that before, she was just a little maid in the demonic sea demon clan. It could be said that she was a slave, the most humble ant. The other party could easily erase her. Now, she was above the demonic sea demon clan. The little maid couldn't believe it. Lin Xian said, "As long as you are willing, I can make you the king of demonic sea demons. I am willing to lead the power of the demonic sea demon clan to follow you." The little maid knelt down on one knee. At this moment, her eyes flickered with excitement. "Okay." Lin Xian waved his hands, and the phantom of the demonic emperor appeared behind him again, forming a seal with his palms. Lin Xian used the peerless supernatural power in the illusionary demon scripture, demonic song. This was the demonic emperor's peerless supernatural power, which belonged to the soul and sound type of attack. The demonic overture could kill the 9 heavens. And the demonic song. In addition to the overture, there were many more pages. Some could be controlled. The demonic Sea Demon Clan was also considered a clan in the demon realm. Lin Xian had the demonic emperor's supernatural power. It was really too easy for him to control the demonic Sea Demon Clan. After all, at his level, he dared to challenge a quasi-emperor. His strength was definitely beyond the imagination of these people. Many demonic runes appeared in Lin Xian's hands and flew into the glabella of the demonic Sea Demon Clan in front. Those demonic Sea Demon Clan members who were suppressed trembled. The next moment, a rune appeared in their souls. They looked at Lin Xian affectionately and became extremely respectful. "Greetings, Master." These people all knelt on the ground and prostrated themselves towards Lin Xian. The big octopus looked at this scene and was stunned. The little maid was also shocked. The patriarch of the demonic Sea Demon Clan in front, including a group of elders and powerhouses, all surrendered. Was this the young master's method? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.